Russ Cluck Show back with you. Mortgage One Studio. I'm expecting Chris Larson. Let me check and see if he texts me. No, he should be in here sometime. Chris gets here. He runs late sometimes. He doesn't waste his time out on the road. Oh, he's here. He's here. How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
I was just saying, I was just talking about you.
I heard you.
Actually, I said, you run late
You left
sometimes.
the
I mean,
door open. You got to close it if you're going to talk about people.
yeah, you don't waste your time out on the road. You leave to where you get there right when you need to be.
Well, I would have been here a couple minutes early.
What happened?
But I took the wrong exit again.
Oh, you did?
You need to move all this over to.
Oh, you want me
closer
to move
where it
the
used to be.
studio?
Yeah.
It's pretty much not going to happen. I mean, you're the one that lived out in the country. Your volume not up? Too high?
I don't think they're on at all.
You're not on?
Oh, there it is. Wow, now it's loud.
Okay, well, how about I can adjust it.
Okay.
I can punish you if you like. We're not going to move it. You live out in the country. You live out in the country or semi between here and the foothills, something like that. Kind of in between.
Yeah.
Not sure if you want to be foothills. Not sure if you want to be city. You live in the city.
No.
You're outside the city limits.
Yeah. We're a county bubble.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
They try to get rid of all those. When they can.
They try periodically. Yeah.
You said no.
Our whole community says nope. We got horses and stuff out there, and nope, they don't want to have anything to do with the city.
Hang on to it then.
Huh?
Hang on to it.
Yeah.
It looks like. I remember when the city went through a great big expansion time, like when Nelson was in. You may not have paid attention to it, but
I didn't.
When Nelson was in, man, we started annexing part of the ranges and down south towards San Luis and towards Welton. We wanted to go on the other side of the mountain, like 3 miles east of Telegraph, even under Nelson. And they just kept annexing. And Welton complained, San Luis complained. They said, like, mate, you guys.
Yeah, I do remember that. Everyone was like, hey.
You guys are blocking us in, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
I do remember that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. So that all kind of stopped, but we got a lot now. It looks like the city's going to expand again and want to because of the spaceport.
Oh yeah.
Nelson just did an article on it the other Mayor Doug Nichols.
Right.
It's different now.
Different dude.
Yeah, he did an article on it that it's going to be down towards San Luis, and they would have to annex more property.
Mm.
Well, what does San Luis think about that? And,
I'm sure they're like, well, we want to do the same deal.
I doubt that property's simple to. I don't know. It might be part of BLM usually. If it's down around there, it's usually BLM, which has more complications, not to annex, but to use.
I'm sure the BLM is like, why are you taking all our land?
Well, it could be BLM, it could be state trust land too.
Yeah. It's making me think of Parker. If you go up towards Parker, you get the Parker city limit sign like 30 miles.
30 miles before you get there. I guess at times they just want to build a buffer or future expansion.
Well, when you go up through small towns, one of their income sources is tickets. So if it's city limits and you're speeding, hey.
Well, yeah, but there's also responsibility. When you annex it, you're responsible for
that's right.
For emergency services, for police services, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be somewhat careful. I would, but they look at the lessons made in big major cities like Phoenix.
Right.
Phoenix is not near as big as you think it is. When we say Phoenix, we mean
that
whole metropolitan area.
Same with LA and all of that.
I don't know how many cities is up there in Phoenix.
There's a bunch. Yeah.
You got
and my wife
Scottsdale and Mesa. And
she talks about them like, well, obviously it's this town and not that town. I was like, yeah, I see no difference. You can drive through a town and not even realize.
Of course, you don't know the difference. Yeah, it's just the roads connect. There's no border guards.
Right.
it just flows.
Sometimes the road signs will change color.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Because my wife was going to college up there, so we were, for a while we were going up there periodically, and you'll notice a difference in the road quality every once in a while. Yeah. You'll be
Yeah.
driving along, all of a sudden, and then it's clear again, and you're like, "What just happened?"
But quite often they all cooperate and communicate.
Right.
In fact, I was on the planning and zoning here. I was chairman of it for a while, and they work with the city, the county. They have to get together plus
Yeah, there's so many
plus
things
the
that
s- the
overlap and inter
state and
yeah.
all that, and they negotiate things. They work it out amongst us. Like if there's a road that's going to cover all three,
Mhm.
there may be one that takes the lead or something.
That situation came up, here in Yuma, the, frontage road, by, the Walmart out there going up towards, Fortuna exit. Um, the the city was like, because that's part of the county bubble.
Right.
So they were like, "Well, we have our city people going through that all the time, day after day after day. We wanna widen it." And so they started,
Well, there's a way to get that done.
well, yeah, they started buying up the, property,
The city,
eminent
yeah,
domain.
they can
Yeah.
buy it even though it's not in the city.
And then one side got upset with the other, county or city, I don't remember
Uh-oh.
which.
Uh-oh.
And so they're like, "All right, we're not gonna do that anymore." And everybody was already on board saying, "That's a great idea, it needs to be widened."
Somebody screwed it up, huh?
And somebody, yeah.
The best
Governments are people,
the,
and
the best cooperative project has been this the park. What's the name of the park by Kofa? Where they just
you asked me any other time, I would have known.
I know. But anyway, it's been on the plans for flood control alterations for 30 years or more or better.
Is that what's going on down there right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So
a huge project.
And it kept changing plans. They were going to put in a pond. They were not going to put in a pond. It's going to put in a spillway. Not going to do that. It's going to be open to the public. It's not going to be open to the public.
Uh-huh.
But whatever. But nothing moved on it for decades. And when I was on the board of supervisors, actually, we voted it through, and everybody congratulated. It's been out there so long, nobody's voted it through. Well, I think the city heads up the actual project, but it's county funded because the county controls the flood zoning.
Okay.
You pay taxes every year on property for flood control, and that goes into a big pool, and that gets distributed throughout the county based on who's the most flooded.
Uh,
I guess, and that gets redistributed. But the city took charge of it as it was a project between the flood control with the county and the city, and they just screwed it up.
oh, really?
It's still not done. All the trees are dead now. I mean, I don't know how many trees they killed in this
Really?
project. Oh, they've killed 30, 40, 50 old big trees, and then they put a 4-foot sapling in its place.
Huh. I
I
don't go by there very much, but it's just a big hole at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of work has been done.
Huge.
They have moved mountains of dirt,
They've
then it would-
created mountains.
but then it would
Yeah.
sit there for months. Nothing moved. There was equipment sitting there idle for months. Never
Yeah.
moved. Now all the equipment's gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't understand because I haven't asked.
Right.
I get tired
It
of it.
works that way.
Yeah, I got tired of asking. But my understanding is that there's lawsuits. Great, of course. Whenever this happens,
Really?
yeah, somebody's blaming someone else for not planning properly or not ordering. I don't know what it is. Something was wrong
Huh.
with the whole plan. So the contractor and the city had a falling out. The contractor finally walked off the job. I understand.
Really?
Yeah, so it's still sitting there in limbo. Trees are dead all over the place. The city's chopped them up to clear them, and now when you walk through, it used to be a lot of shade.
Yeah.
Oh no, shade's not really there that much anymore.
How is this not
And those were old growth
news to
trees.
people? This seems like it would be something people would be interested
Oh,
in.
they did a horrible job.
Huh.
Horrible. And it's I don't know I don't know the reasoning, but
Right.
there's a lot of finger pointing on whose fault it is. But I can't believe that's been that mismanaged. It's been years
Yeah.
to build a hole. There's a lot going on underneath that hole. I mean, I know there's a lot of flood control stuff that's gone in and plumbing that's gone in.
Right.
First thing they did that was cut off all the water. That's why everything died.
Oh, that would make sense.
Well, no, I mean, if I owned it personally and they had to cut the water off for 6 months or a year, I'd borrow one of them farm water trucks and come out and just water it, keep those trees alive.
Right.
They never did. They just died.
Huh.
These beautiful, tall shade trees died. And they just watched them turn brown and die and said, well, at least we'll get some mulch out of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we got mulch.
Silver lining.
Yeah, they ground it all up and it made it mulch.
We went through there around Christmas time because we took the grandkids to the Candy Cane Lane.
Oh yeah,
and we had to park way over by in the parking place for the park because we walked through it, and so as we were walking to and from the car, the girls were out playing and running, and that, so that half of the park looks good and is well maintained, but we didn't pay attention to the part. What would it be? The north side of the park. I've got Sanguinetti in the brain, but it's not Sanguinetti Park. I don't remember the name. Sanguinetti is further north.
No, that's Sanguinetti.
Is it Sanguinetti?
I think so. Man, I don't know how I could be off on that this morning.
But they have a they redid the restroom.
The restroom's horrible.
Really? You think
yeah,
so?
they used to have it. The other restroom was bigger.
Okay,
that they tore down.
Yeah.
And it was an open air. In other words,
Right.
there was air that circulated from the top of it, and there was no doors. You walked in around the corner for privacy and all that.
They were all like that, yeah.
Yeah, which was beautiful design. And they had like prison type toiletries and stuff like that. You couldn't hurt them. I mean, they were rugged. And now it's a one door, one person at a time. It's locked. Which I don't want a locked door at a park.
Oh, well, I think the idea is you can go in and lock it and then nobody can get in while you're in there.
Correct. But you could also do something improper and lock it. Nobody can get in or whatever. I just don't like it. I think it's bad design. They put nowhere, but they locked it all up and it's got one small fan, like a hole in the wall, with a vent. It's got to be a couple feet with a fan. But when it gets hot outside, it's like 130 degrees inside. And outside's only 115.
It wasn't hot when we went in. When we went in, I looked in. I was like, "It's nice and it was clean. It was modernized.
It was for a few days.
It was comfortable.
It was. It was for a few days.
For a few days.
Yeah, they got all those white walls and everything. It didn't take long to have some graffiti and some stuff. So I walk there all the time, and a lot of times you just see, they're locked. The doors are locked. It says closed.
Oh, I haven't.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know if it's vandalism or what. But something's going on. I just think the design sucked.
You're bringing up.
Is that too heavy for you?
You're bringing up considerations that didn't come to mind when I thought it was nice and clean. And
I'm gonna take you over there this summer.
I don't need to be taken over to the rest.
I'm gonna take you over there this summer and say, hey, come on in. It's gonna be 130 inside.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a different consideration.
It's just miserable. The other one really had great airflow. I'm not advocating air conditioning, but the airflow of the old one, at least it was no hotter than outside.
Right. Well, it would have been, and now that you mention it, it was more comfortable because it's in the shade. It
was in the
moisture
shade. The old one was.
Yeah.
In the shade. The new one's not.
Yeah.
Although I don't think the old one would be in the shade anymore. They cut down too many trees.
Well, the building
trees
itself
are gone.
provides shade, so.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, Smucker's Park.
Smucker's Park. That's what it is. Yeah, I knew it.
I had to look it up on my phone. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't know that name, but yeah.
Well, we know it. We're just getting old, and
well, yes, but gracefully.
Yeah.
Lincoln Day dinner for tonight sold out. By the way,
I'm looking forward to that. I haven't been able to go before.
Yeah,
it's gonna be my first time.
You picked a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, it's gonna be packed, which is fun actually. A lot better.
And I asked Tanya because I got my ticket late because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go to it because I have classes in the evenings.
Yeah.
And I asked Tanya about can I get a booth for being a candidate, and she said nope, they're all full. So not only is the seating for the dinner all full,
can't get
all the candidates positions are full. There's going to be a lot of people there doing a lot of really good stuff for
I was there
the
yesterday
local
for
community.
3 hours setting up sound systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they want sound system, they not only on the stage, but they want sound system in the other room and stuff.
Hmm.
And, and I've got some stuff that'll work, but I was having problems with it yesterday. I gotta go back today and tweak it. I had to go back and get some more extension cords. I gotta move it. Some of the metal in the building is interrupting the wireless connections I
Oh,
have.
yeah.
So I had to move some of it, and, I'll come back today and, make some adjustments. It'll be simple.
Good.
I can get that all done, and then I'm gonna MC the thing. And Tanya is taken. I mean, she is so organized.
She's crazy
It's
organized.
crazy organized. She's actually written and when I MC things,
Uh-huh.
the only information I generally get is the program, and I
Right.
work it from there.
Right.
She actually writes speeches and
Yeah.
stuff. Very thorough. I haven't really gone through them. I mean, I will, and I'll adjust accordingly. But she was asking for it early, and I usually don't do that early. I usually do that the day of.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put it off till the day of on this occasion. It's just I've been so busy with other things. I've got a lot of things
You
going
got a lot of things going on.
on. And I just
You
just
spend half of a normal working day for people
Yeah.
doing this, and then you go and do your, run your
well,
business.
actually,
and
this actually takes me about 7 to 8 hours a day.
then, yeah,
I mean,
'cause
I'm on air for 3, but that's not what it takes.
Yeah.
Uh,
you're
there's
doing your research and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to get up at 2 now instead of 3 because right now during this adjustment period, I don't have breaks. I don't
Right.
really have a lot of guests. I have 3 hours straight. Now, normally in an hour talk show, like a one that is national, like Hannity, or we used to be Russ Limbaugh and everything, they only talk about 35 minutes,
Right.
an hour.
Yeah.
I'm talking 60 minutes an hour. I need 60 minutes of material for each hour. And I'm talking for 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been doing more research than I normally do, but it's been a good exercise.
Yeah. Well, and I'm only here, once a week, but all week long, I'm reading news articles.
You're keeping current.
To stay current.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's something. Oh, I want to make sure I bring this up or something like that. But you're doing it every day.
Of course, I like the news. So in the evening, I'm running through
and
YouTubes and stuff and looking at stuff.
And since I've been doing this with you, I have been getting much more involved in everything. I'm reading the stories in more detail. I'm not just looking at the headlines, and I'm actually, used to be I didn't even look at the headlines. I didn't care what was going on.
The headlines can be deceiving.
Yeah, they can. Absolutely, and that frustrates.
They can be.
But I'm seeing connections in the world I didn't see before. Just because I'm getting more informed about everything, and it's really changed the way I view a lot of what's going on around me, and I like it.
If you start looking at the connections, it kind of blows your mind a little bit.
Yeah,
particularly right now with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of this Trump plans, how much he fell into, but all the stuff he did between Venezuela, what's going on in Cuba, what's going on in Iran, Ukraine, Russia, China, that's all connected. Amazingly.
Yeah.
Well, Venezuela was
the oil connects everything automatically anyway.
And that's true. A lot of it has to do with oil and income. But Venezuela was the first one which cut the oil off to Cuba.
To Cuba, yep.
Which is going to want Cuba to come to the table. My understanding is they have been calling and asking, we're ready to talk, and Trump's busy right now. Yeah. But they got probably Rubio and others in there talking to them about, working something out. But that whole thing kind of surprised me. I didn't realize it was only Venezuela that was keeping Cuba afloat because they don't really have any commerce themselves or income themselves.
They've cut themselves off from the world.
Or they got cut off based on just who they are. Yeah. The West cut them off. And then they go into Iran. And I didn't realize how much of a difference that makes for that whole region.
Yeah.
But because they are the bullies for everybody, and they have been threatening the entire world economy if they don't get their way.
Yeah. and they're
and they do that by closing the Strait of Hormuz.
Strait of Hormuz.
And they have spent huge amount of their money in defense of of that strait, so that they could blow up any ship they wanted to. They have torpedoes on those islands all in that around that strait. There's like 3 major islands plus a cargo island, and on that rocky shore, they have all these little boats, speedboats tucked in there that they can run out and put a mine in, or they can shoot a torpedo from those small speedboats, or swarm you with machine guns, as well as rockets, anti-ship weapons, all kinds of stuff just embedded in the rock. That whole thing was just a threat to the entire world. Give me what I want, and like Europe and all these guys always back down,
right?
And
because it's the oil. Yeah,
but Iran was funneling so much money to everybody.
They were going through a list of
I can't believe it. But Hamas, Hezbollah,
places,
the Houthis,
groups that are influenced by Iran. It's a long list.
Yeah, they're influenced and financed.
And
then they're also helping finance Russia going after Ukraine. And Russia leaned on them for all those drones, and all those drones came out of. Well, now they're cut off, and Russia's in trouble. I mean, they're in trouble anyway, financially and everything. They've been going through everything.
Well, and then and Trump has been is suggesting using that to our advantage. Hey, we'll let you sell some oil, which takes off the oil. Takes the.
I'm still upset about. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. But because that money goes back to Russia.
Yeah, but they were feeding intelligence to Iran.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
they were.
So it's kind of it's a in any deal, nobody walks away completely happy.
They made some kind of long-term pact with each other, Iran and Russia. And as soon as the United States invaded, they went to the air and say the deal's off because the Ayatollah is dead. He's the one we made the deal with. He's not here.
Right.
Because in the first raid, he died.
That was, if anything else, Trump is demonstrating the power of the United States military.
Well,
we took the Venezuelan president out, just picked him up and left. We took out the Ayatollah in
our politicians for so many years have almost like felt guilty that we have so much power. It's not fair. So we're only going to use a little bit.
Well, they talk about the numbers, and the numbers are vastly bigger than anyone else in the world. We spend a lot of money on our military.
Yeah,
but when we need it, it's nice to have it there.
Percentage-wise, we don't use it. We don't do as much as like Russia and stuff.
Oh,
they do more.
We're far above theirs.
What? No, more money. We don't spend as big a percentage of GDP.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's take a phone call. Hey, Carl, you're on the air.
Thank you very much. Beautiful morning out.
Yeah, it's getting a little warm during the day, so you better hang on, buddy. It's gonna, bring out the sunscreen.
106 today.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll be fine. We're tough in Yuma.
We know how to handle it.
Yeah, my 2 cents for the day is we are still watching the art of the deal.
Hey, buddy,
the whole thing is a deal. Yeah.
There's things going on. It's crazy because this whole thing has affected our relationship with Cuba, with Russia, and not in a terrible way. But Russia is. You want to turn it down? Down or up? Down okay. Russia has lost its supplier of armaments and stuff out of.
Yeah.
So they're in trouble. And then with China's lost what 20-30% of their oil that comes in. But we'll see where it all comes together.
Yeah, and look what we're paying for diesel and Yuma right now. We're paying $5.
A little over that, and I just saw this morning that regular gas was like $4 for $3.99.
$4,
$3.89 yesterday at Sam's Club.
Yeah. So, and it's going to be there for a while. I mean, until that strait is fixed, those ships are not moving.
No,
I can understand that, and I also know that President Trump is going to be smart enough. I don't think you can get a mosquito through the net they're going to put up to protect those ships.
Well, yeah, there's a ship on the way that apparently can do things the current Navy can't do, because they're such deep draft, those, and they're not going to put the aircraft carriers, those huge ones, in harm's way. So those things are way out. They're like 100 miles out or something. They're not that close. They've got this Tripoli, which is a smaller Marine ship, doesn't draft near as much, and it still holds 20 F-35s. It's not an aircraft carrier. I don't know what they call it, an amphibious ship, but it's got 20 F-35s on it.
That's scary all by itself.
Isn't it something? Yeah, it's not even an aircraft carrier. We got 20 F-35s coming with it. That's kind of crazy. But that thing is on its way. It just came through the China Sea, so it's going to be up there in probably a week. It's going to be a week.
Yeah, but look how much power can you really? And what are we talking about? 20 miles?
An hour? You mean? Oh, you mean that straight? The
straight.
straight's about 21 miles at its widest.
Okay.
But the shipping lane within that strait is only a couple miles because those things will draft like 80 foot of water when they're loaded.
Yeah.
So their pathway is so narrow. They're setting ducks if you want to get blowed up, take a very slow, huge ship going 20 mile an hour within a 2 mile pathway. It's you can't hide.
It's an easy target.
You can't hide. Even I could hit that.
I wasn't going to say that.
I'll tell you what, between the guy trying to hit the ship and the guy on the ship, I think the way it looks right now, I'd rather be on the ship because that guy that's trying to get to that ship is not going to make it because there's too much firepower against him.
Well, these guys it's kind of hard to stop a missile when we only got a couple miles to go. And that's the problem. Is they're so close. To guarantee 100% passage, you've got to get rid of the threat, and that threat still exists, even though it's 90% gone. It still exists.
Yeah, but if it's still there on that ship, there's also a weapon that shoots a lot of lead in the air real quick, and it's all remote control.
On the military ship, but not on the tankers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to me, when a tanker goes through, there's going to be a military ship in front and in back, and then there'll be a few helicopters around it, and then after that, you'll have a big old airplane over the top of it that's going to take in a watch, and then after that, you're going to go up into the satellites and take another picture.
Well, my understanding is none of that's going to happen, Carl, until they get these Marines in there and take hold of some of the strong areas, which probably are those 3 islands. That are in the strait, because those are heavily fortified and they've got they know where they are. They're islands. They can't move them.
Yeah.
And they'll the Marines will set up their own bases on those islands, apparently, according to speculation from military advisors, retired military advisors. They'll probably set up armaments there, missiles and rockets of their own.
It makes sense.
And that'll be better to protect the ships than our ships or aircraft. And apparently that Tripoli will get those F-35s close enough to where they're 15 minutes out, where right now they're an hour out off of the Lincoln. The Lincoln is quite a ways away.
Yeah, that is true. And how good these cameras are. I've had people laying. I want one of my roof inspected.
Yeah.
And they used a satellite, and they took a picture of my house, and they had a very good picture of my roof.
That capability is great, but all that's going to do for this strait is they could take a picture and say, "Yeah, they blew up that tanker. We saw it." And that ain't going to help us,
right?
But it's like a movie camera. You can watch it from space all day long, and you can watch what's going on in the ground. In Yuma, they could watch me wherever I went all day long in Yuma. I could be followed.
I wouldn't blame them for watching you, Carl. I would.
Well, they're gonna see a lot of me underneath my mesquite tree too.
That's right. I'd watch it. I'd keep an eye on you.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just kind of glad to be able to sit under my mesquite tree and just watch President Trump read me the book Art of the Deal. But I'm getting to watch a movie of it.
But he's got to get this oil under control as quickly as possible. I know he's working on it.
Well, yeah.
But the voting population's impatient.
Yeah.
And he knows there's an election coming up, so it's got to happen.
Well, what the public needs to understand, the reason President Trump is doing this is because if Iran got a nuclear missile, he would go put it in your doorstep, my friend, and put it in mine too.
Of course. But the
So,
Democrats are rooting for Iran right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're rooting for Iran.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, they want to get elected. They know if Iran blows up in Trump's face, they're like, oh great, well now we'll get the House and everything. And they're licking their chops.
But the House not there anymore.
No, the House of Representatives.
Yeah, but if we let a land blow our country up, that stuff's not going to be around.
No. I mean, I'm only worried about the next few months, man.
Yeah.
No, they don't have anything now. Yeah. Next few months, I'm talking about losing the election is all.
Well, you know how we're not. That goes back to Michelle Pena then in my book. If you're talking about losing elections, if we don't put Michelle Pena in the House, we lose. We go blue.
I'm all for supporting her, buddy.
Yep.
You know my feelings on that.
She's great.
Well, yeah, but you and I need to support her. But you and I need to go out and make sure all of the people that will support her.
Well,
so
we do our
it's
best.
It's a team effort, buddy. Yes. Oh yeah, we're doing as hard as we can because it's for anybody. If they don't understand, if they want to go blue in the United States or in Arizona, it's an easy way to do it. If you don't, you got to go vote.
Yep.
But you got to do a legal vote. In fact, by rights.
Oh man.
By rights.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I understand.
The Democrats are telling me this was the cleanest election ever. There's no fraud out there. There's nothing to worry about. In fact, they trust people. You don't even need an ID.
That is true.
Nobody will cheat. What are you talking about, Carl?
And coming back into Yuma, we the people in Yuma put David Laura into the county recorder so he could take a look at the books, and the supervisors took it away from him.
No, he's still looking at the books. He's still looking. He's just not in charge of them. That's all. No big deal.
Yeah, well, we're just glad we have David Laura down there looking at the books, and if he can, if he can look at them and he can show us what's going on and come and tell me, I'll be very happy.
Oh,
I'm going to keep the man's feet to the fire.
Then you're going to be very happy.
Yeah,
who's going to be unhappy?
No, you're going to be happy. David looks at him.
Well,
he knows.
Yeah.
And
I think,
and he doesn't mind talking about it. We're all good.
Yeah, I know we are, but I'm going to keep harping because
keep harping, buddy. That's fine.
Oh yeah,
that's what makes it all work.
Yeah, that's the one.
Call the supervisors, though, man. Call them.
Well,
I mean, you always call me. Call them.
Well, yeah, but the problem is when I call you, you'll call me back. When I call them, they don't call me back.
I'll call them and tell them to call you.
Them call me.
All right, I'll do it.
Hey, you know what would be better if he'd come down to a Tea Party meeting and explain it to us.
Well, he might do that.
Invite him.
Well, I did.
Okay, there you go.
I haven't yet, but it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, invite Jonathan Lyons. He'll do it.
Yeah, I know John. John's a hard worker. He does a lot of good. So
yeah, go. Yeah, I support him. Yeah, call him. He'll take care of you.
You know. Well, I hope so. But anyway, my time to go, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
See you later, bud.
Mr. Carl sitting in front of the tree. I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, sanguinity. I guess we covered that.
Yeah,
not sanguinity.
Then we got into all the connections with Venezuela.
Oh, and Lincoln Day dinner and all that stuff. We got all that covered. I want to talk about Georgia for a minute.
Georgia.
Georgia got the news that they're getting a new ICE detention center.
Okay.
In the state of Georgia, and the news was, I guess, the Trump administration is going to overhaul the whole immigration detention system.
Okay.
They're going to renovate 7 large, I understand it's 8 now, warehouses that hold 5,000 to 10,000 people.
Okay.
Which sounds expensive. Major logistics hubs, and they're going to be in Virginia, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, Georgia, and Missouri. We've already got some in Arizona. I don't know if they still have those tents. I think they might be gone.
Yeah. And
I mean, in Yuma, I'm talking the ones in Yuma.
That's what came to mind when you started talking about it. I know a guy in the Border Patrol, and he was telling me that they were renting those for thousands of dollars.
No, millions.
At a time. Yeah. Well, depends on the time period. Yeah. But
No, well,
like
every month
daily,
it's over $1 million.
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. He was talking about daily, it was like
Yeah.
thousands of bucks a day.
Well, no, it was over. Yeah, it was $1 million a
It
month.
was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was
And,
well over.
they were full all the time.
Yeah.
And,
And there was meals. There was,
yeah,
they had to
there's a
hire
lot
tons
involved.
of people to organize it and maintain it.
If we're going to be having this many people to detain as we deport them,
We
it
do.
makes sense to make a permanent structure.
Absolutely.
It's expensive up front, but it's going to save us money in the long
And you
run.
realize the Border Patrol bought the old, dog park, the race park.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it in order
Right.
to build on it.
Right.
They need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a great place to do it.
Yeah.
So
just another example.
I
of
have
the
no idea
difference
where it's
between,
gonna be.
Biden administration, Trump administration. They put them in tents.
They put them
where
on
it
the
was all-
streets.
Well,
Biden.
yeah, but I mean,
They just released them
they
on the
had-
streets.
they put up tents, in the middle of summer, and Trump is like, no, let's have an actual structure that can be air conditioned and properly.
Well, those tents were air
controlled and
conditioned
take
out
care-
here. They were like a house. What we had.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
year round.
But it doesn't. It's not insulated. It's
That doesn't matter. It was air conditioned. It was just expensive.
expensive. That's where I was.
It was still air conditioned.
That's where I was going. It's that's the kind of air conditioning. It's just you're cooling the outside air just as much as the inside.
Here's what the DHS is planning to do. They plan to implement the hub and spoke model,
Okay.
kind of like Amazon.
Yeah.
They got a hub and spoke. In which, but there's instead of outgo or ingo.
Right. Well, the airlines, it's just an efficient model.
Yeah, it's an efficient
It's
model.
efficient.
Airlines do it and everybody.
Yeah.
Except theirs goes out, ours going to go in.
Right.
It said in which four smaller processing facilities will feed into larger detention facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now it's going to reduce the number of facilities overall. There's 300 of them nationwide. Could take them down to 34.
Good.
But there's going to be these bigger places that are detention. And the reason they do the detention is when they arrest somebody before they actually do, get them on a plane and ship them out of here. I guess there's a holding period that they look for.
There's all kinds of paperwork.
In case there's a
opportunity
question, before they go to Venezuela or whatever, just.
Well, and people have an opportunity to challenge the deportation.
It's limited, but it is there. It's not like, like a death sentence where you get 20 years of
right.
Paperwork, and of continued hearings and appeals and all that. It's a little more limited, but they need these detention centers to hold them.
Yeah. And
holding centers.
And, the reason we're having to deal with it so much now is because it wasn't dealt with before. And
well, not only was it not dealt with, the doors were so open. We got so many millions in here.
Mm-hmm. It's a big job, and it's getting done.
Many more. And the first thing first was to cut the border off, which they did.
And it's a dramatic difference.
Yeah. Stop the pain. Yeah. Now let's go take care of the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. And it's painful. It's hard. And especially since you have all these states out there that refuse to assist or help. In fact, even get in your way.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people have gone to jail now. Yeah. Little by little. Not enough. I mean, Minneapolis was a joke.
Yeah.
The way that whole thing is handled, because Minneapolis wouldn't help. They're helping now.
Well, they see that it's all falling apart.
And by helping, that means that if there's illegal activity going on the streets, they take care of it themselves. It's their responsibility.
Well, and they're helping to protect the ICE agents too. Everyone was on their own before. They had to bring in Border Patrol to protect the ICE agents.
And normally, they're not cooperating with the ICE. And then the ICE comes to them and says, "We're going to arrest this guy. Can you?" No. But if there's someplace and there's a mob that rushes them, their job is to keep the peace, and they weren't doing it.
Right.
That's why they brought in all the customs officials, the Border Patrol regulars, and say, "You got to stand guard for the ICE agents so they can do their job." And then they bitch, "Well, now you even got more people." well, of course.
Do your job. We wouldn't.
So I don't know what the negotiation was, but they just, Trump agreed to take them all home if we don't need them. And we don't need them if you police do the job, which is keep the peace in the streets.
And that's starting to happen. People are, and nothing, says you're right. But like like success when you start seeing the numbers of illegal aliens in the country go down, and the benefits to
I
the
don't-
country.
I don't know what the latest numbers are,
Well,
but there's been a ton of self-deportations,
yeah,
you know,
and
people.
and that's the other part of it.
Yeah.
There, the protesters want to make it public. Oh, they're doing all these terrible things. But I think the aliens in the country are seeing it, saying, "I'd better get out."
Some of them,
before
not
it comes
enough.
to me, but that's a great and we're helping them. I
Yeah.
love that they put out that self deportation. We'll put you on the plane.
Give you a little money.
We'll give you a little money. It's so much better for both sides, and you can still come back if you do it the legal way. But if we find you and send you out on your own, you're
You're
not
blocked
getting
forever.
anything, and
Yeah.
you're blocked. It's a great deal all the way around.
Take it.
And I'm glad people are taking it.
And-
More
and
need to.
The neat thing about that is they took Joe Biden's cell phone app,
Yeah.
which that
And
cell phone app
repurposed
was to get people in.
Right.
Like you just we'll make an appointment for you to break into the country. You just get on the cell phone and we'll make an appointment for you to break in.
And then we're not going to.
And they just turned it around, and Trump reworked it to where here we'll make an appointment to get you out.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and we'll give you a little money.
And I really wish
you
people would
well,
talk
give you a
about-
kiss on the cheek.
I wish people would talk about that more, because it's a
Yeah.
great thing for the whole country. All the illegals in here that want us be able to.
Well, not everybody's going to
manage
agree. I mean, there's guys out there that are hanging on to it, and I think it's for political reasons. I think it's for more votes. I don't think it's for the good of the country. It's not for the good of the people. It's not for the good of businesses. Not the good of communities.
The other day, that Border Patrol agent I was talking about, he was telling me that he was part of a water rescue. The Yuma police were chasing a guy. He jumped into a canal and got stuck in the canal, and they didn't have the equipment, so they called Border Patrol. They came out and helped it, and he's telling me the whole story. It was a great story. And then afterwards, when they got the guy out, he's like, our team leader, walks up to us. He said, "I really want to give you a high five right now, but the cameras are there. It wouldn't be appropriate." I'm like, that is a perfect opportunity to be on camera doing high fives. We saved a criminal, and we didn't hurt anybody. We got him out, and everything was nice.
They're worried about the
kind of news.
optics.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of news that people need to see. Border Patrol agents
Right.
actively helping and being beneficial and being kind and gentle to somebody that was a clear criminal. That's what we need to see, is more stories of these officers who they're risking their lives
Yeah.
trying to save somebody, and they did, and it was a success. And that happens every single day all across the country, in every neighborhood. All these agents, police officers, Border Patrol agents, ICE agents, all of these guys are putting themselves on the line to do good.
But the high five would
And
be
we don't need
misunderstood of like high fiving for catching illegals, and so many groups out there.
But
that
he
wanna-
wasn't an illegal.
Okay.
He was just a criminal.
There's so many groups out there that want to protect illegals at all costs.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're rapists, murderers. We want to keep them in our country. We
Yeah.
love them. And that's just ridiculous. It's just gotten so silly.
I just want more people to see what these
The
guys are
reason
doing.
I started talking about Georgia on this
Oh, yeah,
whole
we
ICE
were.
detention, I'll get back to it. It's no big deal. Well, the Homeland Security bought a warehouse in a place called Social Circle, the city of Social Circle. I don't.
Okay.
They're a small town,
Mhm.
and they bought this warehouse, one of the ones that's going to be turned into this this holding area for 5,000 to 10,000 people. And the mayor of the city and the council and all that unequivocally does not support an ICE detention center in a city or the surrounding areas.
Until they start seeing the money coming in
I don't think it
to the
matters.
community.
I don't think it matters right now. And that would be the voters that like that. The council and these guys don't. Some of them are out of touch.
Yeah.
You would think in a small city they're not out of touch. Could be
Right.
though. Maybe. And maybe the whole city's like that. Let me see. There's a message from Senator John Ossoff and the mayor, David Kenner of Social City, put out a joint statement. "We are urging the administration to abandon this plan, which risks overwhelming the city's resources and more than tripling its population. Small town. It'd be
Yeah.
like putting a big warehouse in Welton with 10,000 people, which I think Welton would embrace.
Yeah. Well, we were, if the resources are overwhelmed, then the government is going to help increase the resources.
Quit talking sense for a minute.
The tax base is going to have a
But-
huge income. They might be worried it's going to be like in the Biden era where they get 5 to 10,000 detainees and then
They turn
release
them
them
loose
into
in
the
the
street.
area.
That might be the concern. That would be legitimate. But
Well,
we're not going to do that. We're
they
going to
need
put
to-
them on a plane and send them out.
They need to talk about that. Senator Raphael Warnock, a Democrat there, said, folks in Social Circle voted for this president overwhelmingly. So it's a rural area.
Okay.
But here's what they didn't vote for. They didn't vote for a 10,000 person detention center that will triple the size of their town to place a massive detention center next to an elementary school. Like, I think the town's small enough, no matter where you put it, they're going to call it next to an
probably.
elementary school. They didn't vote for potential boil water adversaries or sewer overflows because this administration has overstrained the city's resources. They didn't vote for their voices to be unheard and trampled on by their own federal government. They say that the city water supply and sewer systems are not big enough.
Okay.
In fact, they've already cut them off. They turned them off. They said they turned them off and they're not going to turn them back on. I don't know if any of that's legal.
Well, it's going to go through the courts and it's going to be settled one way or the other.
Well, it will be.
And, but I think eminent domain would come into play there, and the government's going to.
Well, the government already owns it. They bought it.
Yeah.
They bought the warehouse.
Well, I mean, as far as getting water source. And
well,
like that.
as far as all that, they're running a business. They're going to have to. I mean, I'm sure they'll have to pay. I mean, I'm sure they'd be willing to.
Right.
Here's what they say.
It's going to be a better deal for everybody in the long run.
If you talk to them, probably. Social Circle, which is the name of the town, confirmed that ICE purchased a facility within the city, and their local officials had met with the Department of Homeland Security to discuss the plan. They claimed that DHS plans to fully implement its new detention center model, which involves transitioning from private operations to government-owned facilities, which, that's why they bought it, by the end of the fiscal year. And they expect it to house anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000 detainees, and then employ another 2,000 to 2,500 in staff.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh. But they estimate that ICE will begin intake of the detention center between mid-May and June. And they're committed that the facility will have no adverse effect on the community and surrounding properties. We're not going to release them. Our city officials not convinced, claiming concerns about its water and sewer capacity. Here's what they claim. Documents show that the detention center alone will have a sewage demand of 1,683 gallons a day. That's a lot of toilets.
Yeah.
The city's current wastewater system produces 660,000 gallons. So it's obviously, and it's at its actual limit right now. It's actual capacity.
Okay.
So they have no room for another million a day.
Sounds like they're going to get an upgrade.
Well, they plan on building a new treatment plant, but they're only going to build another 1.5 million. I'm sure the government will help you with that.
Yeah.
They say it's going to take 1 year to 18 months to complete. I'm sure they could help you with that too.
Yeah. This might be them negotiating.
No, I don't think they're negotiating. I think they're just
so.
idiots.
I don't know them personally, so I'm not going to say that.
Well, because they're making it public. They're out there trying to trash the government.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they had already talked to them and were turned down, that would be in this article.
Right.
Fact is, they haven't talked to them, and it says that.
Okay.
They haven't discussed this issue with them. They're discussing it with me and you. Wouldn't we? Shouldn't we be the last ones?
That they met with them.
Yeah, but apparently they didn't discuss the sewer.
Oh.
Yeah, we met with them. We didn't discuss the sewer. They just got assurance that it's not going to affect the city, that, these are detainees and won't be leaving the property.
Well, and they said it's tripling their population, not permanently.
Here's what the mayor says.
We're getting them out.
The federal government acted unilaterally to acquire the property. Nobody from the city was consulted prior to purchase because they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's on the market, they can buy it.
Yep.
Anybody could.
And anyone that did buy it would have done something with it. You get a warehouse that big, and you're going to have a lot of employees adding to the
So
sewer.
how can they have a warehouse that big and not be able to have a sewer connected to it? That's well, it does have sewer and water right now.
Right.
The city, they've cut the water and sewer services off to the ICE facility. They've locked the water meters serving the warehouse, and the lock is there until ICE indicates how water and sewer will be served without exceeding our limited infrastructure's capacity. I'm sure that the people at ICE have bolt cutters. I'm pretty sure.
Too. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got those. And here's what the governor, Brian Kemp. No, he's a good guy, Brian Kemp.
Okay.
You know, he's Republican. All that, a good guy.
Automatically good guy.
Here's what he stated. He says, as this is a federal project, the state has no involvement in. I would have you refer to the Department of Homeland Security for more information. Good for him. You don't want to jump into that.
Yeah. Well, and
I don't know why the others are jumping into it. You know, until you exhaust, discussing with Homeland Security directly and call them up and say, man, we got an emergency. We can't do this because we don't have the capacity.
And that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
That would be the way to go. I mean, they would probably send the Army Corps of Engineers in there tomorrow and make a new sewer system. Who knows?
And that, making it public, might be what they're figuring is what they need to do. They're a small town; they can't do things on their own.
That's foolish.
You start with, let's have a conversation.
But you know
and
what?
If that doesn't work, then you go to the big guns. But,
and I could be wrong, but this tells me they really don't want it, and they're begging for public pressure to go after the Trump administration to get them to stop this now. Yeah. How dare you pick on this little city? No. Actually, he's going to make that little city very wealthy.
That's going to be one of the best things ever. Because small towns notoriously have high unemployment rates because there's just not a lot of industry going through it. And when there is a lot of industry, it stops being a small town. It grows. So
somebody like Welton should see this and get on the phone and say, bring it here.
Yeah.
We could use you to help upgrade our systems.
That would be enormous impact for a community.
That mayor should be sitting down with him and saying, man, we love having you guys.
Would you like to bring anybody else?
How can you help us with this problem we got? What do you got?
Yeah, when I was in the Marine Corps on the air station here, I worked in finance, and we would do an impact statement every year. Yeah. Oh my goodness, there is so much money that the military brings into Yuma.
Yes,
it's insane.
It is.
By the time you figure all the employees, the civilian employees, all the Marines that are going out into the community, spending their money, all the money that the government puts in directly for one reason or another, is incredible how much it helps a community. And the only people that could be upset about that are the ones that don't realize how beneficial it is.
I remember years ago, it's been decades ago. I've been on the radio a long time.
Yes.
But there was some opinion letter to the editor of one of the snowbirds or something called to just complain about the airbase, that the planes are so loud and we need to get rid of them. They should move that base out in the middle of the desert so nobody's affected and all that.
Well, it was in the middle of the desert.
Well, it used to be. It used to be in the middle of the desert. So we built a house next to it and then said, "Now you get out of here."
Yeah.
And the amount of return request on that guy, I'm sure they drummed him out of town.
Oh yeah,
like that's sound of freedom. We love that airplane. Why don't you just shut up and move? Well, I've never seen one since. That was a long time ago.
Well, and they're careful about when you build in Yuma, anywhere near the air station, there's a sound zone.
There's a decibel a map that show the decibels allowed in that map, and
you can't build this in this area. And so on and so
well,
forth.
and they worry about the safety of everything. So you're not gonna build a kindergarten at the end of the runway.
No.
Just in case,
right?
It's probably not going to be a problem other than hearing loss.
Right.
but
they take the sound into account too.
It does.
If you want to build and you get your to get your permit, they check the map and they're like, nope, that's inside the sound zone. You can't build there.
And that's why at the end of the runway you're going to see like Copper State, which is an industrial thing, and they don't have that many employees. We don't like them that much. Right. So.
Well, it's loud in there anyway. They all have their hearing protection. So.
It's not that loud in there. I've been in the building with the planes flying over. It's not that loud. But you wouldn't want a playground outside.
No.
You wouldn't want that. Yeah. So just smart smart building, smart
Management, yeah.
planning. Where you get into trouble, you get, people that are landowners around, and somebody wants to come buy their property and give you top dollar for it so they can put in this beautiful house. And the answer is no.
Right.
Because the next thing they're going to do is pick up a phone and say, you
And
got to
start
stop flying
complaining. Yep.
airplanes.
Yep.
So they're not going to get a permit for that.
Yeah.
And then the owner calls, well, you just cost me millions of dollars because you won't let me have this. Well, actually, that farm wouldn't exist probably if the airplanes, the Marines weren't pouring money into the system and everything else.
And the Marines were there first. So
well, the farms may have been.
No, no.
Somebody's from these land. Well, they may have bought it after the airfield was there. You're right. It might have changed hands. A farmer bought it up, and then complained about the airfield.
Yeah.
Although, but I understand private property. They want to put on it what they want to put on it. You can't stop me. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
And so, in some cases, the military buys it. They've bought a lot of that farmland that's in question around them. They have purchased it. There's still trees on it, so I guess they're still letting them harvest.
Which would make sense.
Some of that they own.
Buy it so you can control it, and then rent it out to farmers.
Yeah, to where it stays.
It.
It stays productive until they're going to put another hangar there or something.
And they don't even need it to be profitable. They just pay for itself.
It's a government.
Yeah.
We don't need to make money. I hate what's going on right now, though, Chris.
What's that?
All the fraud that we're seeing more and more and more.
Well, yeah, it's the kind of thing, you start
it's being
looking,
exposed.
You start looking,
God.
and I
want to stop looking.
Yeah. Well, that's why we've got so much. Nobody's been looking.
Well, not till this Nick guy started doing it. Isn't that something? This 23-year-old guy has changed our country.
Well, it started with those, and I think they inspired everybody to start looking around.
It didn't it didn't resonate. They hated Doge. I think they hate Nick too. But somehow this Nick guy has gone viral.
Yeah.
On
Is
things.
he doing more? Because I saw when he did it with the daycares.
He's all over Newsom.
Oh, is he?
Newsom's already hinting that he's a pedophile.
We're talking about the kid in
Minneapolis.
Oh
my God!
So now he's
flying all over California.
Really?
Oh, he's finding much more in California than he did
in Minneapolis.
And he found Somalis
in California
by chance. He just decided to go to L.A. and he went and got a listing of all the daycares that were getting federal funds.
Oh, he's targeting specifically daycare stuff.
He did that. He's doing other things too. But
okay.
But he started with that and just didn't look them up in any way. Didn't research it. Thought the address said, "Let's go knock on a door." First one was a Somali. He said, "Look, I didn't research this or anything."
That's funny.
And it was a Somali it was a residential, but it was listed as a business. And he knocked on the door, and she knew who he was right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
watch out for this guy.
Very unhappy to see him. There were no kids in the house at all, and there was some lady there. And I think it was about that house, but she was some official or somebody from the area that knew everything was going on. And she says, well, they've been inspected twice in the last 2 years, and they've never found any kids here. My question is, how
they've been inspected and not found
by
kids?
The state?
Wow. Now that's a whole nother story.
I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
I mean, how can the state inspector see no kids? Or they tell, well, everybody had the day off. I don't know what they tell them. I have no idea. I'm trying to guess. How can you explain that away?
California. That's how you explain it.
It's a daycare with no real facilities. It's just a regular house. And then a lot of it, he found empty rooms, empty buildings.
At least in Minneapolis, they found paperwork that said everything was good. But here in California,
I don't know if they did or not. And they were supposed to by law.
Or they said, no, that was it. They said, well, we haven't gotten around to inspecting them or something like that. But here they're actively inspecting them.
By law, they're supposed to inspect them twice a year.
In
order to get the federal funds.
Right.
And one of the politicians in Minneapolis said, well, they can't be like that because we inspect them twice a year. So the politicians are all understanding that they're inspected twice a year. How could you be inspected twice a year and not have a kid for 7 years?
Well, apparently they do that in California.
Apparently.
But they actually have paperwork saying we inspected them and didn't see any kids
for 2 years.
And
they're still getting money.
And
I'm talking millions of dollars. I want to open up a daycare so bad.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked to hear about this in California because California is just bad.
Well,
way
Newsom's
around.
office sent out, stuff right away that this Nick guy, just likes to look at
Yeah.
little kids,
shoot the messenger.
kind of a incentive and
Right.
that he's we did find a daycare with kids.
Okay.
There was 2 kids. They looked to be about 7, 8 years old. Can't tell, they're blurred out.
Right.
But they couldn't find an adult anywhere, and the kids didn't know where they were. That's Child Protective Services that should have got a call right then.
Yeah.
You can't leave those kids in a room. It was, and it didn't have playgrounds or anything. It was just a couple kids in there. So you got any adults around? No. When are they coming back? I don't know. Or just no one's here. Just us.
Unbelievable.
I'm in charge.
Unbelievable.
And they're getting millions.
Yeah. Well, and the problem started when there weren't enough daycares available because the regulations are making it impossible to run a good business over there, and so they opened it up to people can have these small micro daycares all over the place. Well, that just makes it harder to manage, harder to keep track of, and
Maybe, but
California is notoriously bad at keeping an eye on things.
but that's
And
then they get cut off.
created
Then
the
they get
problem,
cut off
made it
because
harder,
because the
and they're
rules
worse.
are
Well,
federal money goes there, and then they have to inspect it and verify that the money's been spent according to the rules.
Right.
Like you have to be open from 6 to 6. You got to have playground facilities. It's got to be safe. It's got to be secure, and there needs to be state inspectors inspect those twice a year.
All right.
It's pretty simple stuff.
Well, they did inspect it.
It's one of them did. And no kids. Can't go ahead and send them more money.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get a kid if we send them enough money.
Unbelievable.
They're doing the same thing with hospice care.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
They
I
got
heard about
tons of hospice care.
Yeah.
And I guess all the people have already passed because there was nobody there either. But they're still getting money, millions.
that. Hey, where's this guy? Oh, he died.
Well,
Yeah.
we're still paying. we're still paying.
Well, he
Man.
just died yesterday. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, right. Lots of problems, and Nick's been able to call it. Nat Newsom's pissed.
Well, yeah, he's getting found out, and he wants to run for president. That's bad timing.
I don't think he's running a good state. How could he run a country?
Oh, he doesn't care.
I know he doesn't, but we should.
Yeah.
He's number 1 in the polls again, I guess. Oh no, he's number 2 now.
Yeah.
Kamala passed him again.
Oh, really? Oh, that's better.
Yeah. At least she hasn't screwed up a state because she's never been a governor.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure I sent you a link to the video there. The Daily Show, very liberal. They're funny, so I like to watch them. But they did a piece, like a promotional video, a satirical promotional video about Newsom that was pointing out all of his flaws.
Why would they do that if they're very liberal?
That's what I was like, did they turn on him? And I've got family that live in California, and I asked them, they didn't respond because they're liberal too.
Right.
But I'm wondering how much support he actually has from the nationwide Democrat community. California, they seem to love him.
He's number 2 on the polls to be next president.
It's a low bar in the Democrats. They don't have.
Well, they have nobody on the bench.
Yeah,
nothing on the bench. Maybe it's Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul's the governor of New York. Back in 22, Hochul, she told conservatives and Republicans in New York to leave the state. Go down to Florida where you belong. That's Hochul in 22.
Okay.
Now, today, I guess she's seen the checking account. She says, I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs we want to have in our state. There are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. If you want me to be supportive, then maybe the first step should go down to Palm Beach and see how you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It's like I have to look at the facts that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on corporations and their individuals.
That's not the way to get them to come back to say you want their money to support social endeavors like that.
Well, because they're blowing the money. And you look at the daycares they have, and you look at all this stuff, and it's just all cons.
Yeah.
And I need the millionaires to kick in their fair share.
Yeah.
We got to support the con.
I chased you away. I understand that. My bad. Please come back and spend your money here.
Oh, but for years they've been telling them to leave. I mean, since Rush Limbaugh left in the 1990s, Rush Limbaugh left New York. Good riddance. We don't need you. Get out of here. Sean Hannity, good riddance. We don't need you. Get out of here. Hundreds of other billionaires, man, get rid of you. Don't need you. Now it's like, hey, you guys need to come back, man. We need to support our social programs. What are you doing down in Palm Beach?
Not supporting the social.
Well, how could you not get the message?
Right.
How for 2 decades, 3 decades that this is 2026. Rush Limbaugh left in the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And for that whole time, they just keep cheering every time somebody packs up and leaves because we don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
That was their response.
They just did something else in New York that is chasing people out. I forget what it was, but I remember, on the Daily Show again, they were like, "All right, all these millionaires are leaving. Great, that's going to open up housing." I don't remember, I don't remember what they were leaving for, but it's just again and again and again.
Oh, they do.
All these Democrat-run states are chasing people out, chasing industry out,
time, you
and they're wondering why things are falling apart.
You get states that are working to bring your business. We're open for business. Look at Doug Ducey for 8 years. Right. Open for business. We want you. Come in. We'll work a deal. We'll find a way. What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Let's negotiate.
And here in Yuma years ago, they were talking about getting an ice rink to come in over by the mall.
Yeah.
And sounded like a great deal. It's going to bring in, it's going to be a venue that brings in people for all kinds of events. It was going to open up.
Then do it.
Yeah. One guy at every meeting just was so vocal about, oh, it's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible.
Why would it be terrible?
He was
you didn't like ice?
No, different ice. He probably, he was complaining that the city was going to give tax breaks to this company.
And it's going to cost him how? How's that going to cost him?
Well, yeah. He was like, oh, you're taking money out of the...
No.
Yeah, well, but that's the kind of deal that communities make to bring industry into a town because they know in the long run, it's going to be beneficial. He was looking at, just today or tomorrow, there'll be less money coming into the tax base. Well, yeah,
but
until it gets open and running.
There won't be any less. You don't have them today. They weren't paying anything today.
Right. Yeah.
They don't pay anything tomorrow. It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah, exactly.
But they usually make deals. Like when the mall went in, the one out.
There was a deal.
Yeah, the deal. And it made a lot of people bad. They didn't understand it. And the city gave them a break of like $8 million or something. Mm-hmm. And here's where the break worked. For that mall to get in there, the city had to put in a bunch of infrastructure, roads and sewers and all kinds of stuff. The mall said they would pay for all that in lieu of eliminating. They'd do it themselves because cities suck at it as far as working it on time.
Yeah.
They would get their construction like Donald Trump does, and I can do it in a day,
Right.
But then they wanted the city to give them a $8 million back that they're going to spend on this infrastructure by deducting it from what they owe in taxes.
Great deal.
So they don't pay taxes because we're putting any infrastructure in, and we get a break that we don't have to pay any taxes on top of that.
Right.
But the infrastructure is a responsibility of the cities anyway.
Right.
So rather than them do it, they just let them do it, and it's kind of like contracted to them. But instead of cash flowing, it was kind of a barter deal.
Yeah.
And
that's
people were upset about it.
Yep.
Well,
because they don't look at.
You're giving them $8 million. Nobody cut a check.
Right.
If anything, they hired local people. They hired people to put in all this work. They put people to work. They were creating all kinds of tax base, and city didn't have to go put out their $8 million to put that infrastructure in there or schedule it.
Yeah, and the city has so many employees that to maintain the system. They don't have a.
Well, they still have to maintain it. A lot of it's city,
but they don't have a bunch of people sitting around waiting to build.
Yeah,
a massive structure like that.
Right.
This company was bringing in construction workers to build the whole thing anyway.
Right.
They could bring in the extra people to build the
I know, yeah, they're
the
spending
infrastructure.
they're spending hundreds of millions of
That was a
dollars.
good plan. That was a good deal.
Right.
But people don't
They
understand.
don't.
They need to be educated.
They hear this
and
tax break.
yeah, back with that ice rink. That was my now that we're talking about it, it's coming back to me. That was my frustration because I was at one of the panels and the guy was complaining about this, and nobody on the panel explained. Well, in the long run, it's going to be more beneficial. I'm sitting in the back on.
It's beneficial from day one. It's
Yeah.
not even long run.
Well, yeah.
It's beneficial. The mall was beneficial from day one.
Yeah.
Unless you owed the Southgate Mall, then it wasn't good.
Well, even that is being revitalized. It's
Well, eventually they always
there's a
do.
company being moving in with some sort
Pickleball.
of yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
There's other things.
businesses going on happening over there that wouldn't have been able to happen otherwise. It's
There's things that are in
it
there.
always works itself out. That's the nature of the
Most all the anchor stores left and went
Yeah.
right to the new mall, except for Sears, and they just closed.
well,
eventually.
Sears was dying anyway.
They eventually
Yeah.
closed up.
But
They didn't change with
That's
the
the
times. You
nature
know?
of the free market system.
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
It always
Yes.
works itself out eventually.
Yeah. So, what do you think the chance of Hochul? Little comment here, getting millionaires saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm coming right back." You
I
think?
don't think even the Democrat millionaires will come in into
No, the Democrat billionaires leaving. There's a lot of them.
yeah. There's my political leaning, and then there's my money, and they're going to take their money and they're going to leave.
And there's a ton of them that left California when they came up with that deal that we're going to take any billionaire, and take 5% of their net worth, not income,
Right.
net worth. And it's retroactive to January 1st of this year. If they live there January 1 of this year, and that bill passes in November, it's a voter referendum. Now, there's no way the California voters aren't going to vote for it because
Right.
they're not smart and they're not going to realize. All they're looking at is,
They're looking
wait a
at,
minute, if
we get a big check. Yep.
we get a ton of money from these billionaires, they won't miss it. They got so much, they can give us 5%
Can you lose 5% without missing it?
without whining and crying. No. I think anybody would, including these billionaires.
Yeah.
They just left a
Yeah.
ton of them.
And people look at people a lot of money and they're like, oh, they've got so much that they can lose without noticing. No, they base their life on what they have. If you
Yeah.
take it away, that's going to have a big impact on
And-
their life, just like it would on your life.
And it's one billionaire that left California. His tax burden would have been $180 million.
Uh-huh.
He moved to Texas and his tax burden was zero.
Huh.
So he got to keep the $180 million.
Right.
By moving to Texas.
And took all the rest of it with him.
So would you move to Texas for $180 million?
Oh, I'd move to the moon for a
Yeah. So, and California is just like incensed. Well, don't you care about our community? Yeah. Well, now that this Nick guy's out there exposing where California's spending the money,
All right.
it's all scams.
It's all scams. Yeah. I don't understand why people live in California.
Who was it that just came out recently that I think it was New York that said the amount of money they spend on homeless people, the homeless problem,
Uh-huh.
if they divide it out amongst all the homeless people, came out to $81,000 per person.
Then they wouldn't be homeless.
Well, they don't give it to them. That's what they spend to counsel them
Oh my goodness.
and to do these programs that they give these NGOs programs to do to help the homeless. And they were spending an average of, 81,000 per person on the homeless. And none of the homeless living in those cardboard boxes on the sidewalk know it.
Yeah.
You would think they'd get a better box, but they're not getting the money.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, where's that money going?
Oh,
It's into
overhead.
somebody's pocket that is not
Oh
homeless.
gosh, yes. It's all scam.
Yeah.
These NGOs that take care of them and all that, they did these contracts
Mhm.
to do certain services, whatever that is, or give a breakfast or do something like that. There's a ton of money goes into overheads. They could get a breakfast at McDonald's a ton cheaper.
Yeah,
You
but
could-
it would be a McDonald's breakfast. So.
you don't like that?
No.
I like McDonald's.
No. And my wife gets mad at me because every time we do go to, because she does, And every time we go there, I complain because their prices are just so insane. It's like $8 for a Big Mac or something like that. I'm like,
They are high.
it's crazy. And I saw an article that they're saying that they're losing their base customers, the lower income customers. The higher income people, they're still going in there and buying it, but there's the numbers are dropping. They need the lower income people in mass to keep them afloat, and they're losing them because their prices are so high that
But
people can't go in and buy.
I don't see their books. I don't know if they're losing or not. I see a line all the time at the drive-through. It's
But-
always bad. It's
yeah.
back. It's bumper to bumper at the drive-through.
Yeah, it was at their shareholders meeting, and they were talking about their quarterly numbers had dropped,
Even though they
and
charge more.
Yeah, and they were analyzing it because they charge more, but that meant they lost a huge part of their base customer,
Right.
and because the lower income people can't afford
But are they making
to buy
money?
that. No, they lost money.
They lost money.
Their quarters.
I mean, they lost sales, but they lose
didn't go
bottom line.
negative. They didn't go negative, but they
Right.
didn't make as much as they expected, and so that's why they have those. They changed their pricing structure, and they have some deals there that are like $5, and you get 2 or 3 items. But it's still fast food. Why did they even think? Oh, well, they'll just keep raising the prices.
Okay. Well, if you don't want fast food, just sit in the parking lot before you order for a while. It won't be fast.
That was the nature of fast food. Was the whole idea was you can get in, get it cheap, and get it fast.
Well, yeah.
And now you can get it fast, but you can't get it cheap anymore. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I remember Happy Meals used to be cheap. Now
Yeah.
they don't make me happy anymore. I don't know about that. Edward had a few comments about the billionaire tax.
Okay.
He said the problem in the California is asking for 5% of the person's wealth.
Right.
The markets are down 10% over the last week. If you pay 5% of your wealth on Monday and your stock drops by a value of 10% come Friday, will the state of California reimburse the difference of loss? No, of course not. But I think it's deeper than that, Edward. I think the whole thing is nobody wants to pay 5% in the first place.
Right.
Particularly when you're gonna call out a certain group that's successful,
Yeah.
and say you guys are doing such a great job. Give me your money.
Yeah. You're robbing them. Is what
Give me your money.
Yeah.
You're doing such a great job.
Well, and and there's all kinds of debate about income tax, but to do it on wealth, you spent years
Yeah.
building that wealth, and now all of a sudden you're going under certain rules you've been building this wealth, and then they're going to say we're going to add another rule. We're just going to take all that.
And how do they calculate the wealth?
The wealth, yeah, that's always
I mean, do I
debatable,
get to go
too.
through the house and look at the paintings on the wall and I say, wow, that painting's got to be worth 100,000 right there.
Yeah.
I want 5% of that painting.
And then
And those leather couches are nice.
when you get to those to that level of wealth, it's all on paper. We've got stock over here, we've got investments over
Well,
there.
yeah. Even
It's not actual cash just sitting around waiting to be paid to somebody. It's
rich guys need to borrow money.
yeah.
When Elon Musk bought X, he had 15 investors. I mean, he didn't just write a check
Right.
for 42 billion. He's the richest man in the world, but I had to borrow money.
Right.
Yeah. Of course.
Because some of his wealth is projected. It's anticipated. We expect based on your past experience for this to be here, and so we're going to give you a valuation. And it's all speculative. You
Let me
can't just
see.
add it up.
Edward's giving me a little Virginia news here.
Okay.
He said the new Democratic governor of Virginia, and she's been a mess.
Uh-huh. I have actually
She's
heard of her.
Oh man, she's been radical left.
Yeah.
And her fully Democratic legislative branch has made it illegal to request the daycare center and other taxpayer-funded programs without an administrative court order. The administrative judges appointed by the governor has denied all requests to date. The governor explained that anyone seeking this type of information is racist.
Really?
Well, it's a daycare. It's not a race care, is it?
Well, that statement to me is racist, suggesting that only minorities need daycare. To say
Yeah.
that investigating that kind of thing is racist suggests that only minorities are dealing with the daycare. There's a whole buttload of
Well,
people of every race.
Everybody has babies.
And yeah,
Yeah.
in daycare.
Well, it's just they got to go to something.
Yeah.
Chris, you got to find something.
Well, and as soon as they play
Racist
the race
is
card,
easy.
yeah, oh well, now
That's supposed to shut you.
Everyone's going to back off. Well, I don't want to be called a racist. You're not a racist.
I think those days are coming to an
Stand
end. I
up
think
to-
people
yeah.
are starting to say, "I don't care."
That's not a racist.
I don't care. Social Circle, which we were talking about in detail because they don't want the ICE center.
Right.
Very liberal area of Georgia. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Edward has roots in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to the university over there or something. It's within 30 minutes to Athens. Is the home of University of Georgia and Georgia Tech and 5 other universities in Atlanta. So, of course, they don't want ICE.
Right.
We're liberal. Antifa has asked volunteers to go to Minnesota to engage in ICE and Border Patrol directly.
Oh, really?
Are they still in town? Because
they pulled most of them out of Minnesota. Holman said, "We did our job. We're done."
Well, my understanding on the, when I read a story on it, God, it's been months ago, maybe a month ago or so, that some of the records of Antifa have been they've gotten their hands on it. They've accumulated some information about how the money moves, who has it, and how it's all coordinated. It's not random. It's coordinated. They've got names, and some of those Antifa leaders have just left the country.
Oh, really? They're probably those billionaires.
It's been a while ago,
about.
But some of them are hiding. Obviously, not all of them. I mean, they got to spend all that money that they get from all these NGOs that get grant money from the government that gives it to Antifa.
Well, they can do all that online. They can be safely out of the country and managing everything.
And the Trump administration terminated the temporary protection status of Somalians, the TPS, which we heard about, in the United States as of March 17th.
Okay.
I thought it was in court. It says it is posed to impact nearly 2,471 individuals in Minnesota, putting them at significant risk of deportation. TPS, this has resulted in the loss of legal status and work permits for many families. In response, community leaders and advocacy groups are mobilizing legal challenges and public demonstrations to address this, and has stated they will not allow Trump to remove one single person. I will not allow it. That's awesome.
All right.
That TPS goes back for like 30 years. Back when Somalia was at war.
Right.
They put a TPS on it in the 90s, and they said, and it's called a temporary.
Temporary. That triggered.
That's what I mean. Temporary, but people don't want to go back. Let me see. Epic Fury has already canceled out Big Beautiful Bill's tax refund. What?
Oh, okay.
We don't get the Big Beautiful Bill tax refund?
I didn't know about it.
So. He just sent me an article on it, but I haven't read it yet. But, Epic Fury. Oh. I mean, it's been fun to watch on TV, but I would have given all that up for the tax refund. I wouldn't watch it. He sent me an article. The article assumes that China does not monitor U.S. war games with our allies. Well, okay,
I would suspect
I would suspect they do.
Watches everything. Yeah.
This is designed to make the reader believe Trump started the war to help Russia and China followed by himself. No one ever asked how Obama came into presidency worth less than $1 million and left with a value of $100 million. Yeah. U.S. citizens now runs Mexico top drug cartel. Well, then that's okay.
No, it's under control, American control. That's good.
California-born stepson of the kingpin, El Mencho.
Oh, okay.
Known for his brutality, enjoys constitutional protections because he's got his son. That's going to run it. Wow.
So is he going to be worried about the natural born line in the Constitution? What is it? If you're born, I forget the name of the clause. If you're born here, then you are an American citizen. That Trump's trying to redefine.
You see, Edward was supposed to ship me a bottle of George Washington whiskey, which It wasn't on the shelf right then, so he's shipping it to me for tonight
Oh, okay.
for the
Yeah.
auction.
Yeah, you told me about that last week.
But he agreed not to ship it via air, as the chief distiller didn't want it to suffer from bottle shock.
Uh-huh.
I guess lack of.
Well, there's
When you
dramatic
start going to altitude, it
temperature
could
change.
affect it.
Yeah.
So they want it to be in good shape when it gets here. Which we'll sell it tonight. I'll have to deliver it probably Monday
Right.
or so, next week.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We'll still sell tonight. That's George Washington's original recipe.
Yeah.
And it's being made right on Mount Vernon area with the same types of methodology by hand, and they only make about 600 bottles a year.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I won't be buying it.
You aren't going to buy it?
I don't drink that much anyway, but that sounds like it's going to bring in a lot of
Okay,
money
one
that
more
I
thing
don't have.
from Edward, and I got to take a break. But Judge Richard Leon and to rebuild the White House East Wing exactly as it is, and only with taxpayer funds, forcing the U.S. government to refund the donations for the project.
Who wants to do that?
Well, there's a lot of forces that have been trying, and now they're going to this Judge Richard Leon and saying,
Yeah, well, I understand people having an idea about how to deal with it, but rebuilding it exactly what it was,
it's just a couple office buildings.
using tax money,
Yeah,
does not sound like a good plan.
no, and then giving all the money back that's been donated for the ballroom. The ballroom's well underway. I mean, they're working on it. It's below ground. A lot of that infrastructure is going to be below ground.
Yeah.
Trump does not have the authority without their permission to make changes to the building. Whose permission?
Okay. But if you agree that if you believe that, then why would you use tax money to rebuild exactly what it was? Wouldn't you want his money to pay for? It just sounds like a lot of bad thoughts.
It would be just
all
stupid.
the way around.
Estimates to rebuild with the union groups and everything back like it was, to build the offices, which are infinitely smaller than the ballroom, $1 billion. Yeah.
People make no sense.
Yeah, but it's liberal groups that are stating Trump does not have the authority. How many times has that White House been added to, taken away from, added to over the centuries? Well, that's Edward. Call me directly. You're on the air.
I cannot believe you're destroying the notes I sent.
I did. Well, I like to though. Yeah. What did I destroy today?
Let's see. You just wrote, they want, but if you looked at the article, it says that the several Democratic politicians, particularly AOC, wants no money to be used for the ballroom. They all must be taxpayer dollars, and that anyone who donates that is probably lining Trump's pocket.
Oh, so how could he line his pocket?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
The issue with the Epic Fury, with giving up the tax breaks, is that if you take the cost of gasoline and the other cost of that cause other inflation levels to go up, you're losing. The average person is getting an extra $700 to $800 in tax refunds on top of what they normally get. That's been evaporated.
Well,
if you long haul this number out.
You're going to get the best of both worlds. You'll get the refund and get to watch Epic Fury. You're just going to
I get to watch Epic Fury still.
Things.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting to watch. So
it's been interesting, but if you're willing to pay $800 for a, cable TV news show, then I have a bridge in Brooklyn for you. Really cheap.
But that's what I get for not reading the whole story. I just read your notes there. I'm like, wow, we don't get a tax refund. Okay.
The El Chapo drugs issue is that the Mexicans killed the latest drug lord of the Mexican cartels, and his stepson took over, who was born in New Mexico. So now the issue comes up is can Americans be killed? Now, if it was a Democratic president, not a problem. A Republican president that cannot kill Americans. Remember, Obama killed over 300 Americans.
I guess
the bombing in the Middle East.
I knew he did the bombing in the Middle East. I didn't know there were that many Americans involved. But okay.
Yes, but remember, it's a Democratic president, so it's okay.
It didn't get much of a blip in the news.
I don't remember it at all.
It did, but they were all constantly referred to as being evil people, terrible people, a good loss for the planet. Da, 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 da. Now, this individual, who's the stepson of the former cartel, who's become controlling of the cartel, is a child, innocent. He has a life. He has family and friends.
And he's
if you
got a
read
good
the
job.
media. He does. He's doing well, and he's helping. He does. The article does go into the fact that he is supporting local charities.
Oh,
They
really?
always do,
That the
yeah.
idea that Trump saying that he wants him dead is just another proof that Trump is racist and despises Hispanics.
Yeah. Well, they got a point. if you're running a cartel, he does.
Yeah.
That was
The
it.
item I wrote in saying I wrote this is yellow journalism. If you read the article,
I
and
haven't
you
read
I
said
didn't
it,
read
it says that it was written by Bloomberg, who said that Trump is aiding Russia and China by invading Iran because it's showing them how he would conduct warfare items.
Ah.
If you read the article, you would think that China and Russia say, oh, the U.S. is doing a war game with Australia or Japan or whatever. They don't look. So we don't look. We only look during battles. So if you read the article, you must presume that China only looks and Russia only looks at our military when we're
Right.
bombing somebody.
But
Which
the
doesn't
whole
make
thing with
sense.
Iran is hurting Russia and China because Russia lost their supplier of a lot of lethal stuff. And then Russia said, well, the deal's off because they had a deal with Iran, and it's off because they killed the Ayatollah. So the deal's no longer valid.
Yes, they lost access to military equipment from Iran, though they're charging China less for the oil. Russia was able to get between $25 and $30 a barrel. Now they're getting $100. So they're exchanging military equipment with China for oil.
Yeah.
Almost like a Lend-Lease concept that we had during World War II.
I didn't realize they were getting that little from China. So China really is taking it on the chin. They're going to have to start paying up for oil.
Yes, and France has finally stepped forward and admitted that they will send troops to surrender for us to the Middle East. I mean, help us maintain the opening of the Strait of Hormuz.
So are you not allowed in France or something? Do they keep you out of that country? Because
I mean, I won't go on the record of it, but I have once said to a French ambassador that I had a French rifle I was very happy to have, was willing to sell it to him cheap. Never been fired, only dropped twice.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't get invited to Christmas parties over in France. That's all right. Well, I appreciate it. And I'm sorry I butchered all your stories. I didn't take the time to read them real quick because I was running out of time. But
well, I sent them last night.
But I was sleeping, Edward.
Okay, I thought he just got them
I just
a
read
moment
them.
ago.
I just read them now.
And was okay. Yeah, okay, I'm with you, Edward.
I was usually when I do my prep work, I do check Edwards. I didn't do it this morning for some reason. I should have.
I'm going to tell you what I tell my children all the time.
Uh-oh.
You were rushing through to get your work done today.
Yes.
But
guilty.
Fast and wrong is still wrong.
Yeah, but I got busted, actually. But I appreciate you straightening it out. They actually were much more interesting the way you put it.
I can't stand when I hear misinformation going out over the airways. I mean, I yell at CNN and MSNBC all day long. I can't be yelling at you.
Yeah,
then,
but
and then it's your information that he's sending out wrong.
But do you actually pick up the phone to CNN at the same time? Do you do that to them too?
Well, no, because people don't say on the CNN, "Oh, this is from Edward."
Yeah, I did out you real quick. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, when you're saying Edward just said we lost our tax refund because of Epic Fury.
Yeah, you're going to
and
call.
I'm thinking, I said, okay, continue moving forward with the information and give all the details. I'm going to call you for now on. I'm changing you in my phone to MSNBC now.
God, I appreciate the call, sir.
All right, go take your break.
Bye-bye. I'm going to take a break now. Just, I do appreciate him now.
Oh, he's a good guy.
I do. Even if he outs me a little bit, which I deserved. I'll be back. See, Russ Clark Show, we're back, and I got Chris with me.
I'm here.
Still licking my wounds from Edward just taking me out to the woodshed, all that stuff. I'll get over it. I'll probably I'll recover.
It was a nice trip to the woodshed.
Is that what you call it?
It was fun and entertaining for the rest of us, at least.
For the rest of you. Yeah. Get it right. He called me MSNBC or MS Now or whatever it is. That cuts to the bone, man. That hurts. I try to be a step up somehow, but man, I guess I'm loaded on me. I started talking about the Cesar Chavez thing yesterday a little bit without a lot of details because I didn't find them. Other than there was a cancellation of the Cesar Chavez Day and all that stuff because of allegations. Right. But the original articles I read, I couldn't even get a name of what the allegations, who are they coming for? What is the allegations doing other than it said, sexual and issues that were improper. Right. I didn't really know, but I've read a lot more now, and because I wasn't reading Edward's stuff, obviously I should have. I won't let that happen again. I'm not going to try to. I guess what it is. Let me see. I've got. Oh, okay. I got quite a few stories on the Chavez thing because it's fascinating to me. In years past, as we've watched politics, any allegations of sexual improprieties, right? If you're a Democrat, then the women are just trying to get money out of you and they're trailer trash, like Lewinsky. Right. With Clinton, up until the dress was found. Right. I got DNA and never mind. But Hillary was trying to trash her and everyone else that would dare say anything about her husband, who was a saint, Right. Until they found out he wasn't. But even today, he's still very accepted. Yep. They're gonna, some people make jokes about him, maybe, but overall, he's not a prize. He's still invited out to events. Yeah. But if you're a Republican, we've seen some of these things drag through. Clarence Thomas, when he was going through for the Supreme Court. Yeah. Man, he called it racially and everything. It was a lynching.
Well, they did the same thing with John Roberts. When he was
going. It was Kavanaugh, I thought.
No, it was Robert, Chief Justice. Roberts, yeah. When he was going through his, they were bringing up stuff from his college days, and I was upset about that. I was like, you're bringing up stuff from 30, 40 years ago.
I'm sure it was Kavanaugh.
He was a different person, either way.
But anyway, they go after the Republicans, and now Clarence Thomas is black, but he's still Republican, right? So they were going after him, but yet the Democrats, they seem to. And they go after Trump because he's had some women say, "Oh, he did something. I'm not sure what. It wasn't real sex, but it was something. A time I don't know when." Well, and she got a civil. It was a civil thing.
The issue I have is neither Democrat nor Republican, but and whether it's Kavanaugh or Roberts, I don't remember. But bringing up something from 30, 40 years ago when one. You can't defend against that. Nobody remembers things clearly anymore. People,
including the people making the accusations.
Exactly. And you're a different person than you were 30, 40 years ago. He was in college. College kids do stupid stuff all the time.
I understand what you're saying. It doesn't matter Democrat or Republican, but it does. It does matter. And here's why. Because in the press, in the past, it just didn't get the news. Like Grijalva, the government had to pay $50,000 to settle a accusation of sexual improprieties and stuff with his staff. The government paid for it, and that didn't get a lot of press. I mean, they got in the back pages somewhere. He paid 50, no big deal, but he didn't get
50,000.
He didn't get outed anything.
But my issue with this Cesar Chavez thing is now not only is it ancient news that they're bringing up, he's dead.
Oh, I agree with all that.
Can't defend himself.
But here's what's really remarkable. He's a Democrat icon. He's a Democrat, and I
Well,
can't
I would
believe.
just call him an icon. He did a lot of great things for
Well,
people,
it's the
especially in this area.
I call him a Democrat icon because when you go to a Democrat booth, they'll have his
They
picture
have
and
it,
highlight
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Okay, so they love him. They
Yeah.
love him and always have.
Yeah.
Now he's from this area. You know, he spent
yeah,
a lot of time in Yuma,
yeah.
but and
I know people that knew him personally.
so do I. And
Yeah.
they've told me some stories that he was not a nice guy. You know, and I just take it tongue in cheek. I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it. I never thought about it.
You didn't need him to be. To
I
do what he
don't
did.
know him. It doesn't affect
Right.
me, and it was something that happened long before I moved to Yuma.
Right.
So the surprise to me right now,
Is that the Democrats are turning on him.
all of them,
Yeah.
on what, just
It's an
accusations,
allegation.
on just
Exactly. Yeah.
just on accusations.
That
So
can't be
How
defended
bad?
against.
How bad was it? I mean, they're talking about canceling parades, canceling
Changing
names, canceling
names.
everything.
Yeah.
Because people have come forward and made an accusation and have shut their mouth. I don't know how long has
Well,
he been
and
dead.
this cancel culture that's been going on, people could say, they could do their, required apology, and then, oh, okay, everything's okay. He can't do anything.
No.
They're tearing this guy down that did so many great things for the workers in the area.
Well,
and
that
had
depends
an
on who you talk
impact-
to.
Well, yeah, but he had an impact on really the world when you start getting into what he did.
He died in 1993,
Yeah. 33 years
33
ago.
years ago.
So that means the accusations have to be at least that old.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, I think it's a terrible thing that they're doing. I think it's terrible when they do things like that
So-
to anybody, but especially to somebody's memory, their legacy
Well,
is.
I find
it's
it all. I
disgusting.
find it all interesting.
Yeah.
And the Democrats always hold together, and they will try to trash. They will try to trash the accusers.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No.
That and here locally, because he's local here, so people local have a bigger investment. I mean, how many
Right.
things called Cesar Chavez in this county? Tons.
Right.
Well, on Tuesday, of course, today's Thursday. This just happened Tuesday. The United Farm Workers and the Cesar Chavez Foundation acknowledged the allegations against the renowned leader and announced they would not hold celebrations in his honor. I mean, do you know how huge that is? It's just amazing that they just said, "Oh, allegations, we're not going to hold it." Now, how many allegations have happened about? The Democrats have been tearing down statues for like George Washington and all that kind of stuff, or Jefferson or whatever. Oh, this guy had slaves. I'm telling you that, start rewriting things and tearing them down. I didn't think they'd ever turn on a Democrat. They always left the Democrat statues alone, pretty much. Just they were going against other icons. But now, who knows? We may have this statues tore down for all I know.
It just makes no sense.
On Wednesday, the leader, Dolores Herrera, co-founder of the foundation, or actually of the United Farm Workers or whatever, herself had been a victim. So she'd been a victim, and we're finding out 33 years later.
At least
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's not somebody that he met, or somebody that co-founded the United Farm.
Right.
And why would she be quiet all these times? It's just amazing to me. And amazing that as soon as she said it, everyone says, take down the statues, cancel the parties, change the streets names,
And I can understand, people, they report issues when they need to report it. Okay, you sat on it for 30 years or so. And you feel like it's time for you personally to reveal. Okay, but does that make it automatically?
I don't know.
True.
I don't know. But I want to.
It does.
I want to know more.
There needs to be.
Well, I'm agree with that. Make it automatic.
conversation.
But these people must know something you and I don't know.
Yeah.
Because to me, this accusation is horrible, and I hate to think that.
Right.
But all of a sudden, it's like
To
we
immediately
believe every
turn left.
woman again.
Yeah.
We believe every woman. No, they would all. I was like, okay. Neves Rydell, she's the mayor down there. I like Neves. I haven't talked to her in a few years. Says that in this country, anyone can make accusations. but these accusations are quite serious.
Oh, okay. So as long as it's a serious accusation, then we can act on it.
Yeah, all the others were not. I thought Lewinsky's was serious. I thought, here in San Luis, we have the groundbreaking ceremony for Cesar Chavez Boulevard scheduled for the 23rd, and that ceremony has been canceled.
Unbelievable.
It's happening just Monday? It's canceled.
All right.
This couldn't have happened at a worse time. Furthermore, we have the cultural center, a street, and the boulevard that bear his name. I got to flip the page.
Yeah.
I'm reading it out of the paper.
It's old school.
and we have a Cesar Chavez holiday. So how now we have to figure out, what are we going to do about it? March 31st marks the birthday of Cesar Chavez, a native of the Yuma area, and has been observed as a national holiday since 2024.
Right.
And she indicated that the next council they have next week, the council would discuss and potentially vote on changing the name of that holiday within the city, with the aim of designating it as Farm Workers Day. And she added that such as renaming the Cesar Chavez Cultural Center, as well as the boulevard, the street that bear his name, they're going to erase him from the face of the planet.
Yep.
Would be subject to further discussion and depend on how the issue unfolds at the national level. What do they know, Chris? They know something more than there was somebody came forward. There was actually three people that came forward with accusations all at once.
And
why now?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting a half the story here.
In less than.
Or less than that.
I just don't understand. Really, they've been tearing down historical figures for a while now and trashing them and trying to obliterate them from history. But Cesar Chavez, it just, because it's a serious accusation. It's still just an accusation. You got to get the information. You got to, analyze it. He can't defend himself, so I don't like bringing it up anyway. But throughout history, we've had people that have done great, amazing things who had questionable personal relationships with, that may or may not have been consensual, but they still did great things for the country, for the world. And you don't just obliterate them from history.
If you read the whole story on Dolores Huerta. She's been a victim, and she was also one of the core founders. And she states that he groomed and sexually abused young girls who worked in the movement. So he's kind of like an Epstein.
Well, maybe.
And also,
are those young girls saying that?
And she had a sexual relationship with him also, and had two children that are his and never said anything.
Okay, that's not abuse.
Not necessarily. It's not necessarily.
And if he did that to these young women, they're not young anymore. They can speak up for themselves.
She didn't raise them. She had other families raise them.
Those kids?
Yeah.
Kids. Well,
no one knew the full truth about how they were conceived until a few weeks ago.
So that would explain the timing then of why these stories are coming out now. But so she's not even making an accusation about herself, because whatever she did, she
said she was a victim of it.
The way you read it just now sounded like a consensual relationship.
No, well, I just read parts of it like I do with Edward,
But if she's saying he groomed these young girls,
right?
They're not young anymore. They can speak up for themselves, and they could have at any time in the last 33 plus years, but they need somebody else to make the accusation for them. It just all sounds hinky. And I don't like it at all.
I talked to somebody that knows him and knows what happened and where he died and all.
Mm-hmm.
They say he died in Yuma.
Right. Some people say he died in Boys Town.
Well, that's what I've heard from people,
right,
that he was down in House of Ill Repute.
Right.
And they brought his body back, got it across the border because of who they had, to put him at his desk, which is more dignified,
right,
and then call the cops and say, we lost Cesar Chavez. I've heard that story. I don't know if there's any truth. I have no idea.
I don't care.
Well, I don't care either.
It's
but
not.
It's interesting.
We don't. It's not the person that we remember so much. It's what they did.
I don't
for the
remember that
community.
much. I mean, I don't. I didn't live in the area at that time. I didn't move here
No, I didn't
till
either, yeah.
95, and I
He
wasn't
was-
that
he was-
connected.
He
I
died
talked to a lot
years
of
after I got
farmers
here.
that absolutely didn't like him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but that's the
he caused
person,
more
yeah.
problems than anything, for
Mhm.
everybody, according to them. But I don't know. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Good.
And your invite, I forget his name.
Chris Larson.
Chris, good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling. Morning. I'm calling to go to talk about Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
It really is kind of a sad story all around. Especially, I'm Mexican.
Mhm.
My mom worked in the fields, and I don't know if I said my name is. I'm Rebecca. Rebecca
Okay.
Melgoza.
Hi, Rebecca.
Good morning, Rebecca.
Hello. Good morning. So Cesar Chavez is he is a symbol. He was the face for it, and I wonder if it wasn't for him and Dolores, would there be it would have taken maybe longer for the farm workers to have what they have, which is better pay, better what do you call that, circumstances or situation as far as
sanitary and everything else,
Yeah.
and breaks and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
breaks and shade when it's possible, and so he did something good, and I don't know if it was out of his heart or more like he was born and raised here and he knew better. And so he said, well, if I don't like this, if I don't like the treatment or what I'm getting, I better speak up and say this is not okay. And so that's why it's not like he felt for others, I feel, but he spoke up, and he had the means and the language and
Mhm.
and I guess the intelligence to do something about it. So
Right.
I don't think we need to take away that. It would be hard to keep having his statues and names on the streets and cultural centers and all of this if he was not a good person, under closed doors. But we still need to give him that credit. And it's very sad. It's a sad thing that, and I really think that a lot of people from his age, from his era, or that knew about him, I don't think it's something that they're not going to believe. It's something that they're not going to, just take as the information comes in. As far as what you're thinking, Russ, that you just don't understand, these are allegations, but what I've read so far is that the New York Times, for some reason, and I'm thinking, is it journalism or is it benefiting somebody
Yeah.
or a side, or right? Because he is the face of the Democrats. Every Democrat out there is for Cesar Chavez because of, he represented, the poor or the people that needed help. So who decided, let's investigate Cesar Chavez?
Mm.
That is a big question.
Well-
Who is benefiting from this?
I don't know, but the one that's striking that has come out is this Dolores Huerta. She's a co-founder of United Farm Workers and had 2 children by him, and she's bringing the accusations out
Mhm.
and saying that he was grooming young girls.
Right. So
and she had 2 children that she gave to other families by him, and said she was sexually abused by him. But it's just shocking to me that this has come out like this. This is and that everybody's reacted like they have. Like let's bury his
Right.
name, let's erase him from the books.
As far as what Chris was saying, that why now, I guess, the statute of limitations have changed and people can
Yeah.
come out even years after. And then that's because, according to what I hear, people who have been abused, for whatever reason, they keep it to them. I feel that what happened right here is it was like, if there were secrets in a family and they just all came out and said the secrets, they're all in the open.
Right.
This is what happened. and then I heard that if there's an abuser or a predator, there's not going to be one person. There's going to be more than one. And I guess by the investigation from the New York Times, yes, he's not here to say otherwise, but if it's more than one, if it's everybody saying, and maybe even within the family, that's what I keep like getting, that message that even within the family, there's been victims, and they're coming out and saying it, and it's documented by the New York Times that they did the investigation. And I'm assuming that's because I read one of the articles that are saying that Dolores came out because she had no other choice.
Oh,
It's coming out,
So she got
and
ahead
we
of it.
have proofs and testimonies of other ones, and it's out in the open now. It's you, and you're part of it, because I guess a lot of people knew that secrets or family secrets or people within the organization, they didn't know that Dolores had 2 children by him, but it wasn't in the open.
right.
And so is Dolores, do you want to say your truth, or we're still going to come out with these other
Right.
allegations, and it's up to you if you want to come out. And so I guess she gave up on the holding on to her secret, and she says that it's because she believed a lot in the movement, that she didn't want to taint it in a
Gotcha.
way.
So
Right.
do you believe they should change the names, that they should pull his name down and
Yes,
eliminate?
because like I said, if he was a child predator,
Yeah.
it would be hard for me to see a statue of him. I think the what they call la lucha, the fights, should continue. Their belief, and people, the workers, farm workers, should have better treatment and better pay, and all of that should continue. So that it's you just change it to farm workers, something.
That's what the mayor said. Yeah.
And absolutely, if something like that was going on today, people would be held accountable, or should be. 30, he died 33 years ago, so these accusations would have to have taken place a long time before that. People had different attitudes back then about the interactions between.
Well, it was still illegal back then.
It was still illegal, but depending on how old these young girls are, and the relationship and things like that.
I think
there was a different
what they were
standard
saying,
back then. Should we hold
right.
him accountable today to the behavior of it, that was
The values of today versus the values of then?
Different. It was different back then. People may not have looked at it as a massive.
I think it was still unacceptable.
And we don't have enough details to really say
we don't know
what
everything.
it was, but holding people accountable today to things in the past, that's what we're doing with slavery. People, Jefferson had slaves. Well, that was a different time period. There were different, and I know that's 250 years ago, but things change, standards change, people's attitudes change. He was living then and behaving in what may have been considered, we'll let that fly back then, even though it was technically wrong. People didn't have the same response to it as they have today. So
what happened, I totally agree. What happened here was that, he was the man of power.
Right.
And then all these people behind him just felt that, oh yeah, I mean, I don't even know. What if even the parents were like, yeah, I'll give you my 13-year-old here.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you're having her, or whatever you want to say that.
Right.
Because the mentality is different.
Yeah.
Now, because he was the one in power, even with above Dolores Huerta, that is a crime, even if she was an adult.
Yep.
And she says that she had no choice.
Right. She had no
as
power.
far as
Right.
having sex with him. Even the first time she even though it was consensual, she felt like she had to.
Yep.
And the second time she didn't want to, but he forced her. So him being in power makes it a crime.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
no
sad.
doubt,
I
no
don't.
doubt about that. You know,
Yeah,
my
I
issue
don't.
is we don't know the details enough to make a judgment, and it was a different time period, so that makes it even more difficult. But yeah, if they say they were serious accusations, there's some things that are unforgivable in any time. Um,
Yeah.
but we don't know what those things are, what those accusations are, so it's hard to make a call.
Like I said, for some reason, somebody asked for that investigation. I don't
Mhm.
know who and who benefits. And I'm thinking, I hope it's not, let's say, Donald Trump
Yeah.
or the Republicans wanting to get back to, the Democrats, because that's just not a fair game, and it's just not good. But
I'm with you. That would serve no purpose. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why
yeah,
they would do
I
that.
can't imagine
we
why
should
anyone
not
would
be playing
want
that
to.
game.
No.
Since there is an investigation, I'm sure there's more than one or more than the three that they're talking about. There's more.
But
And then there's an assurance.
He passed 33 years ago, and Dolores is saying this happened 60 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
What are we going to investigate, really?
Yeah.
Well,
you're investigating his morals, his conduct, and closed doors.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a worthwhile venture. I don't know.
What I guess the only purpose that it serves is for other victims of other, not necessarily him, to speak out.
Yeah.
And I mean, but there's been the Me movement that I don't know. It's just it made a lot of ladies crazy and come out and say stuff that sometimes is not even true. But
Right.
that does happen. But
That does,
I get the impression this Dolores is pretty credible, or the movement wouldn't have happened like it is, where people are canceling. They believe the story, or probably knew the story, and it just came forward. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like people knew about Dolores.
Yeah.
Closed doors, and then so it was just never in the open. And so since it is true, there's truth to this even before coming out.
Right.
It's and then the investigation, which yesterday I'm going through all of it, trying to find out, okay, this is what people are saying, and this is her statement. Where is the investigation from the New York Times? And I mean, I don't get the newspaper, and I don't have the what do you call the
subscription.
Yeah. But where is it? It should be out there, like something, like I want to read their investigation.
Right.
So it's just giving their name, but where's the investigation? That would give us more details.
How does it affect you, Rebecca? I mean, I know you said you're of Mexican descent and all that, and that he was an icon. How does it affect you personally? Was it a big blow that this all came?
Well, I mean, there was a movie about him. When you're in high school, they're teaching you about Cesar Chavez and everything that he did. Cesar, I'm not going to say personally, but I feel it, right? I feel that Cesar Chavez was our Martin Luther King, and now we have no one.
Right.
And like you tainted the only thing good that we had, not somebody to look up to, there's somebody that in the right way, you're supposed to protest and say something, speak up,
right.
If something is not good. But now it's like, who do you have?
Right.
It's a really bad timing.
Yeah.
Really bad situation.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Well, I appreciate the call, Rebecca. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Take care.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You too. Take care.
I didn't even think about that. The individuals that
I've looked up to him.
that have looked up and admired him, that
followed his lead.
And like Rebecca said, she's Mexican.
Yeah.
And it was a hero in the Mexican culture.
Yeah. Yeah. And like she said, he was like the Martin Luther King Jr. of the Mexican community, especially the farm workers.
Hold on. Let me get this call to Sally.
Okay.
She's been trying to go through. We'll get back to it. Sally, good morning.
Good morning. Good to talk to you this morning.
Good
Hear
morning.
from.
Say, I realize you have a big event going on tonight with the Lincoln Day dinner.
I'm sorry, we can't fit
But-
you in. It's sold out. I can't fit you in. So
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, because what we've got is the Colorado River Tea Party has their meeting on the third Thursday every month. And somehow or other, they didn't get the message and they put the Lincoln Day dinner on the same night. So, but we are still holding the Colorado River Tea Party meeting tonight. And because our good friend Ruth had to resign, the board has has put Carl in the chairman position
Okay.
to the end of this year. So we want you to come, and if you don't have plans to be at the Lincoln Day dinner and you would like to come to Colorado River Tea Party meeting, we are out at the Community Christian Center out on Highway 95, and we would love to have you come out there and just be with us. We're having an open mic, and so you're welcome to come and discuss whatever situation you would like to discuss.
All right.
And yeah, and Cindy has some snacks there for us, and we have coffee and sodas, and we would like to have you come out and visit with us tonight in the building behind the church, and it's air conditioned, and so we would like you to come.
Yeah.
And so, what's going on other than that with you today, Russ?
Well, we're trying to behave ourselves. It's really hard, but you know, we're in new studios, so that we've got we're spoiled.
It's a nice.
Yeah.
We're spoiled.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm hoping that you might be able to make arrangements to come out and be with us a little while at the fair. We are going to have the trolley out there again, and we'll be at the entrance of the 32nd Street entrance to the fair. So you're welcome. All of your listeners are welcome to come out and say hi to us, and so you just have a great day today, Russ and Chris. It's good to hear from you too.
Thank you, Sally.
So thank you for finding a way to stay on the air.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sally.
Yeah.
Take care, man. Bye bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Miss Sally.
What I was saying about the Mexican version of the Martin Luther King Jr. He had secrets too, as at least rumors, if not people confirming that he had mistresses, and he was in a position of power within his organization. Nobody's tearing that apart. Nobody, and nobody's ever accused him of blatant abuse. But what if something came up with him? Would they have the same kind of reaction?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah,
things have changed. I mean, this state did for 33 years
at least. Yeah. Well, apparently 60 years.
Or 60 years. I mean, the whole thing was 60 years ago with Dolores, and she wasn't going to bring it up. I mean, but you think about that back then to the 1960s, before civil rights acts, even
free love and all that kind of stuff.
But I'm thinking she had no power.
Right. Oh yeah. But but that's true of all. It just seems like whenever whenever powerful men get investigated, there's secrets, there's skeletons in the closet, and some people say, well, that's just the nature of being the kind of person that can make those kinds of changes in society. You also have this dark side. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it is, but we can't just start tearing down everybody because they were human and had some other side. Now, if like we said, we don't know the details. There might have been some really terrible accusations, and if they're true, then we need to address those. But if it's just Well, at the time, it wasn't a big deal. I don't think it's appropriate to hold them to.
Well,
to the
it was probably a big
today's
deal, but there was no
standards
avenue to address it.
to address it.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I can't put myself in their place, but
Yeah.
shocking it came out and had such an instant
And
impact.
that's the thing. Yeah, it's just
It's like
slapping
flipping a
us.
switch
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's so jarring
on, and
that it
because
happened so quickly.
I mean, not a lot of people have a life that creates cities, towns, countries to put a holiday in their name,
Right.
statues and streets named after them, and civic and public works named after them.
Right.
And then one day said, "Oh, I didn't know that about him. Take everything down.
Take
Take it all
away.
out."
Yeah.
Kind of shocking.
It is. And I think that's what's really hitting us is how quickly this has gone from nothing
And
to
then look at somebody like
get rid of
Rebecca,
it all.
who grew up idolizing. You know, I mean, we all have idols. I have people, that I look at like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's always been a favorite of mine.
Well,
I can't imagine something happening that would undermine that.
Yeah. And I was, I'm a Lutheran. My dad's was a pastor his whole life almost. And, we grew up not idolizing Martin Luther, the original. But
Martin Luther. And I'm a fan of Martin Luther King.
Yeah. But, Martin Luther had a bit of a dark side. He had, probably today they would call him anti-Semitic. But in the 1500s,
it was just
that was the norm.
It was,
and so it's just different. Holding people to today's standards.
But there's been rumors about Martin Luther King activities, whatever, which are I think well known. I mean, people know that there's rumors.
Yeah, that's what.
Whatever.
I think they've actually been confirmed,
but nobody.
But
I mean, it doesn't change. He's still got a monument, and we still do Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, Martin Luther King holidays and march. I've marched with him, and it doesn't destroy everything he's done and stood for.
Because what he did was important and it was powerful and it meant something. And to separate the person, the man from that, you can
what's really hard is it's such a weird thing. Martin Luther King Jr. is that he's held up by the Democrats, as a great civil rights activist and all that stuff, which is all true.
Yeah.
And all that, and they will hold him up. But the Republicans also put him in their booths because he was a great Republican.
Was he a Republican?
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
well, yeah.
Yeah. So he I don't think the Democrats like that part of it.
I've never heard that, and
yeah.
and even so, the Republicans of
we
60
have
years ago were different than the Republicans.
We have his
today,
pictures displayed quite a bit, and we do Republican booths. We'll put Martin Luther King Jr. in there.
Oh, he's a great man. That
I liked
great things.
One of my favorite monuments, actually,
Don't say that.
in Washington D.C.
No,
I'm telling you, why not?
Not his.
Martin.
I was so disappointed by it.
I liked it. It's open air. You didn't like that?
Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of open air monuments over there, but
I like that.
I think it was. I don't think it was very beneficial. Not beneficial. That's not flattering. I don't think
you thought they could do
good.
better.
Yeah, I think it could have been much better.
I actually liked it. I liked a lot of the quotes that were carved into the stone.
Yeah,
they were so uplifting, so positive, and so many of them that I look at.
I spent my family shooed me away because I was just reading everything.
I thought it was amazing. It was over there, and it was.
I don't like the monument, but I like the idea behind it.
I like the whole thing. I thought it was great, John. But yeah, it's not like a Jefferson or something where it's a beautiful building,
right,
and all that.
Jefferson has like a rotunda kind of thing, and Lincoln has that whole building.
Oh, Lincoln is so iconic.
Yeah, but there's a lot of open air ones there. I love just walking the mall, looking all.
It's fabulous to go.
Spend days just looking at all the different.
Yeah, even the Vietnam Memorial thing. It's kind of small, but the wall and those small statues and all that stuff. But
when I saw it in person, I was like, I expected this massive thing.
It's a massive impact,
Yeah, but
but it's not
it's relatively small.
in comparison to other monuments.
And the Korean one is interesting.
Yeah.
It's the soldiers marching.
And there's a lot of monuments you walk past and never knew there was one. I don't
Yeah.
even know all the names,
Yeah.
but it's a fascinating walk. I took Helen there when we first started dating. She'd never been to DC, and it's so much fun to take somebody that's never been.
And I was just having similar same thought here. There's so many people that have not been there.
Right.
I would love to have, because I'm an education person here. I would love to see every middle school kid
Go to Washington,
go to
DC.
DC.
Yeah.
But DC can't handle every middle school kid. I'd like to see a duplicate of out here on the West Coast somewhere.
of the whole thing.
Of the whole thing.
Well, good luck with that. That's kind of
good. It would be good for the community,
That's a
for
big
the
ticket.
society. Yeah, it would be, but that would bring and we talked about bringing industry and stuff into communities.
Yeah.
I think anybody would love that to be in their town.
I think it needs to be in DC, especially since it's safe in the streets now. Now is the time to now's the time to go there.
But it's just too small. DC is such a small space. We can't get everybody into.
Yeah, it's not a state. It doesn't need a senator.
But it's so small
And it was done
we
that
just
on-
can't get that many people into it. I want everybody to go through there
Well, they can
multiple
do it.
times in their lives.
Just create a
They can't
line
handle
and
it.
go one at a time.
The line would be all the way back in
they'll
West
go over
Virginia.
And I've been so fortunate. I lived on that coast for many years, so I
Uh-huh.
made a lot of trips. But in recent, going back, spent a lot of time in Mount Vernon.
That one's cool too. I like
Edward
that one.
is on that board
Oh, really?
at Mount Vernon,
You should get us
and I've
some
gone there with
tickets.
him
Yeah.
before, which is really nice. But he gets behind scenes and stuff, probably things you don't get to see. But I know when I first, Helen and I went out there, and we spent most of a day at Mount Vernon, sitting in the grass watching
you
the
could
river
easily. Yeah.
out in front of the mansion.
It's a peaceful.
Yeah.
I understand why he built there. It's a beautiful location.
Yeah, but for him to get to work, it was a long horse ride. Was it 30 miles? I don't know. It's something.
Well, at the time, it would have been in Pennsylvania. The capital would have been up in Pennsylvania, so that was a long ways away.
Well, I don't know when but District of Columbia was already chosen and already done. I mean, Washington helped.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
No.
Washington helped with the design and everything. He never lived in the
Okay.
White House. It didn't exist.
Yeah. Okay. But the capital was in Pennsylvania for.
I don't think after the
several years.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to check. I'm not, I don't know, but it changed pretty quickly because Washington had a lot to do with the District of Columbia. In fact, but that thing was commissioned under him to be built, the White House.
Okay.
So I would have thought they would have already moved it there by then. And some comment about Washington, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But him visiting the area and going through the area, and of course they went to Georgetown, and he was surprised they already named it after him.
Washington, D.C. was established as the nation capital July 1790.
So after the Constitution.
Well, yeah, and he wasn't. So he was president before that.
When did he become president?
I think
What
it was
this?
1786.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah.
So he spent. At
But I
least
would
one
say it was
term
early
now
on. It
in
was
DC.
he was involved in that. But he thought Georgetown. He said it was nice. What they named Georgetown? I mean, they already named it. I'm named after King George.
Right.
Is there Georgetown?
Whether
that
coincidence.
Whether that story is true or not, I have no idea. But that's what the people in Georgetown tell me.
Okay.
That
When when you were talking about Mount Vernon, though, when we went through there, we saw the blacksmith area,
uh-huh.
and I've done some blacksmithing, and so that sparked my interest. And I know that the blacksmiths were revered as they were some of the few educated people in the community. They were essential for everybody. They made everything that everybody used to make everything else.
Well, yeah, it wasn't just shoeing horses,
right?
It was hinges and door handles and everything else.
And they were saying that it was run by slaves, and I was like, they gave such high level skills to slaves. I always imagined slaves as the laborer that didn't
Well,
was
there's
kept,
a
kept down.
lot of labor in blacksmithing.
Yeah,
But you're
there's
saying a
lot
skill
of
level.
high skill, high knowledge, and it changed my view of the history, because I was always taught that they were held down and not allowed to rise, but there were some that were recognized for their ability and their intelligence, and but they kept it in the community. Oh no, they're second class. They're
We know it was illegal for slaves to learn to read and write.
well, it was
But there
illegal
was
for
there was
women to
always
read
there was
and
always
write, too, for a while.
exceptions.
Yeah.
There was always exceptions, and a lot of plantations, they had pastors that were black,
Right.
that part of the slaves,
Yeah.
that they would allow. And I went to a black college, and I took African American literature,
Mm-hmm.
and they're some of the earliest literature, because they couldn't read or write, and so it's hard to get a lot of literature.
Right.
It was mostly
Spoken.
religious
Right.
stuff and sermons and things, and but to read some of them were horrible.
Oh, really?
Well, they used religion to keep control.
Mm.
I mean, there were things in sermons that would be like, if your master beats you and you don't deserve it because you didn't do it, keep in mind you probably did things he didn't see, so you probably have something coming.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, and this is a sermon.
All right.
I was like, oh man,
All right.
this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there were slaves that could read and write because they
needed to.
well, yeah, and they were being tutored by white pastors,
Mm-hmm.
that would lead them through it on reading, writing, and giving and understanding the gospel, which I don't know how that fits into slavery, but somehow they thought they twisted it a little bit.
Different understanding than I've come to understand.
They moved it around a little bit, and to keep the masses placated.
Yeah.
Like there's a greater place for you.
There's so many different things that you learn every time you look into something like that.
Yeah.
That you did, the conventional knowledge is not full. There's so many gaps in what we know and understand, because people just don't want to talk about it, because, and we talked about before, oh, you're going to be, labeled racist. It's not racist to study history.
No.
And see
still got to be
how
careful.
things were, yeah. But,
Well, because there's people that call you racist if you don't find what they believe.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with that.
And when I was just saying, some of them were given the skills and the knowledge and things like that, and recognizing that doesn't mean that slavery was good.
No.
It just means that
No.
I had a different understanding of it than what was factual.
Washington had slaves.
Yeah.
But it was slaves that answered the door, and I've taken the tours, and they would be right there in the entryway, and people could come at all times.
Yeah.
At night or day.
Well, he also had them working in the
Well,
fields.
they did everything possible, from cooks to work in field fishing. Fishing was big.
Yeah. And when we were there, they talked about and they have it documented in his letters and things, that he didn't like slavery.
No,
he didn't think it was appropriate.
No.
But the times he was in, the place he was in, that was and he inherited these slaves.
Well, he had his slaves.
He couldn't just free them, because then somebody else could snatch them up. He couldn't. His wife couldn't. After he died, she couldn't just free him, because
I think he released his slaves upon his death. I think. I thought so.
They went to his wife, and then she found a way to because and there's all legal stuff. There was all these.
She's the one that had
legal status.
She's the one that had all the slaves when they got married.
Right.
She was wealthy.
Right.
George married good.
Yeah.
George did well.
Yeah. She had the money.
I can't remember the number. It was like 80 or something. I mean, she had a lot of that, and that's what ran the whole mansion there, and the whole farm and everything.
But he couldn't, even for his own slaves that he controlled, he couldn't just free them, because of the nature of the laws and the society
I
at
don't
the time.
remember all that.
That it would have been. It was better off for them. Him to give them a more comfortable environment, I guess you could say, than to release them, because then things would have been worse for them. So,
But-
yes, he owned them,
Now, George,
but that was the time. It wasn't him
Uh,
personally.
and I'll have to
to
look
be
that
held
up, but
accountable.
I thought he released his slaves upon his death. But he had one, there was one slave that he traveled with everywhere he went as a
Yeah.
general.
Right.
That was his aide.
Yeah.
I mean, his guy was a horseman and one of his most counted on
Yeah.
helpers and stuff. I mean, he was right with him all the
Yeah.
time. But
And and other people would have seen that,
of
and they would have
course,
seen, well, this black guy is with our general. He's a confidant. He's an advisor. He's intelligent. How could they keep that idea that that black people don't have the capability of doing that? It's mind boggling to me.
it's just the times that they
Yeah.
were in was terrible,
Yeah.
but we struggled our way through it. But the whole world had that problem.
Yeah. We're watching Poldark right now. It's kind of a wannabe Outlander, but in the show right now, he's in Parliament in England, and they're discussing slavery and the attitudes, and they're bringing up these scientists who are saying all these things about the black race that are just simply not true, but everyone just nods. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I know it's a TV show, but you can believe that was the attitude at the time, that, oh, well, science backs it up. It must be true. And it wasn't science.
No.
And everyone just believes
It's kind of
this
like
idea.
climate change is science.
Yeah.
It's not really.
I just can't comprehend being in that situation. And
Mount Vernon, I got
Greenwood.
some stuff from Edward on other things I had problems with. Mount Vernon's only 14 miles from DC. I guess 30, but
Okay.
it was half that. But still,
Right.
It's not close if you're on horseback.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's like a day ride.
Capital under Washington was New York City.
New York. Okay.
They'd already, yeah.
Okay.
Adams was the first president to live in the White House. I didn't remember exactly who was. I know that it was the construction
Took a while
phase
to
of it was
build.
starting under George. I know that George Washington. Georgetown was named after King George. We already covered that. Yes. Washington did free his slaves, but the circumstances were specific. He arranged for emancipation of the slaves in his will, which stipulated that they would be freed upon the death of his wife,
Okay.
Martha Washington. Now, keep in mind that Edward is on the board
Mount
for
Vernon.
Mount Vernon.
Right. He knows.
I think he knows more history
Yeah.
than most of us. He says will conditions.
I knew they went to his wife. Yeah.
Washington's will, written in 1799, provided for the release of his slaves. However, he released only the slaves he owned personally, not those he inherited or those owned through his estate. Actually, Martha owned a lot of them.
Right.
Well,
I remember seeing a
The,
diagram showing the difference.
actual emancipation took effect after Martha's death in 1802, at which point Washington's slaves would take their freedom. Number of slaves he had, about 317 slaves at the time of his death. And after his and Martha's death, 123 slaves became free as a result of his will. William Lee was the name of George Washington's enslaved servant. I didn't remember the name,
Okay.
but I know I've read articles on that on him before. Let me see. He traveled with him during the American Revolutionary War. Lee served as a personal valet and was present at many key events, including the siege of Yorktown.
Mhm.
After the war, Washington freed Lee in his will, acknowledged the service he had provided. That was, apparently, he doesn't show up in a lot of the paintings of George, but there's some, it doesn't show up in a lot of them
All right.
for whatever reason. Hey, I got to talk to you quickly about Arizona.
Okay.
It was in the newspaper today, and I had never heard this as far as a discussion, but we all know that we've got 90 legislatures in Phoenix, 30 senators and 60
Okay.
House members. It didn't always be that way.
Oh no.
And there's a movement by Metzger, Senator J.D. Metzger, to make a change now. He says, he said he proposed to add 30 more to the state house.
The senator wants the house to be bigger.
Yeah, the house is 60. He wants to make him 90. I'm sure and he said the current system has 2 representatives for each of the 30 legislative.
Yeah.
and both represent everyone in that district.
Right.
So the district has 2. He would like to take those 30 districts, divide them into 3 districts, 3 separate districts, and elect one
From each district.
from each district.
Okay.
And he explains that why. He says right now each district has about 254,000 people. When they do the redistricting, they split it up by population.
Right.
So 254,000 is about the average. At least that's the way it starts out. And migration,
Right.
and they have to change the districts,
Right.
every once in a while.
With the census. Yeah.
And he says it's hard for any representative to fully get a feel for everyone in the district. And that's true because some of these districts are gerrymandered to where
Yeah.
Tucson is included in Yuma.
Yeah.
So to go say, hey, I'll be right over, it ain't going to happen.
All right.
It's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
He says, so divided into 3, each House member would represent fewer than 85,000. So he answers the question I had when I read that. I said, well, what do other states do?
Right.
Because I'm curious just for information. We don't have to do what they do. He said other states, or the average state house in the country, 110.
1,000.
110,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
110 House members. Okay.
No, 110,000 members.
So it's
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. The House
average
has 110
member-
members. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We'll get to the, he says 85,000 representatives, but he would split that up. But that's consistent with other states too. We're the second highest for representative
For,
to have
for how many
for number of
are
people you
represented?
represent. Yeah.
Okay. That's worth discussing.
So I didn't know.
Well, I got so confused because I expected when I started getting into the politics here last few years, I expected it to be like we got a Senate, we got a House of Representatives. I expect it to be like federal, where there's one representative from every district and 2 senators from every
Right.
county.
And we have it a little different.
Yeah, we got 2 representatives from each district. I was like, well, then it's just like a Senate, isn't it? And we have
Yeah.
1 senator from each. I was like, it just seems flipped. This sounds like it would put things more in line with.
Well,
the
and
way
prior to
things are.
1966, we used to have 80 representatives.
Oh, it went down.
According to the form of each county had a certain number. So they would say to the county, you'd have a certain number based on your population in the county.
Okay.
So like Yuma County had its own representatives for the whole county,
Okay.
and it's based on population. But it all fell apart in 64 when the Supreme Court ruling became known as one man, one vote. In essence, the justice said that state legislative districts must have roughly equal population.
Right. Makes
The
sense.
districts have to be. That's why we get gerrymandered and we
Right.
we rework these districts into population centers and not counties.
And I could see the Senate, the House, the state Senate being 1 per county, and then the representatives being, population defined districts, like it is at the federal level. That makes sense to me.
And in 1966, in the state of Arizona, it was split up 45-35, and the Democrats were majority.
Okay.
They had 45 seats and 35 Republicans because it was done by county.
Right.
And so the county that incorporates Maricopa County
Boy.
would be mostly Democrat,
Right.
and they would rule the state. But when they had to split it up, I guess it went to 33-27 Republican, and it's been Republican ever since.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
GOP has never lost in the lower chamber, lost
In the House?
in the House. Yeah, the House.
Huh.
Never lost the majority.
That's interesting.
But before 66, the Democrats were in the majority until they split it up by population.
Right.
And then it changed.
Huh.
Because if you start splitting Maricopa up, you're going to get some Republican stuff in Maricopa.
And it's interesting how to see, because Maricopa is so massive.
Yeah.
They have a huge amount of influence in the state. It's interesting how they would where they would side, because they could be saying, well, if we split it up, then we get 3 representatives for every 2, Or they could be saying, well, if we split it up, we might lose
Well,
some
no,
of
we-
our representation then.
I don't think so. They'd have to split it up by population again. you
Yeah,
know.
but then it'd be smaller chunks of the population. You might have a group that is, within a current district that is solidly Democrat. If you split into three parts, there might be a part that is solidly Republican mixed in with those Democrats. It'd be interesting to discuss that. I think I don't have a problem with it. I
kind of liked it.
I like
never
less.
I never knew it was a problem. I never knew.
I like closer representation then.
But if we had 60 House members in 1966, and we still have 60, our population has
it's
ballooned. So
Yeah.
at one time, that would be representative of, it was less than 254,000 people.
Oh yeah, much less.
Yeah,
I
our
would
population.
expect it was less than 85
Yeah, maybe.
that he wants to get to.
I don't know what our 66 population was.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I didn't know it was ever a thing to think. Now, this article goes on to think about now if we have 90 House members, where do we put them?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking as you said that.
Where are these guys going to go?
Yeah. We need
Because
some renovation.
well, the House was built, the chamber was built in 1960s and is designed for the current 60 members.
Uh-huh.
And you've been to the House. No, you haven't
Not
been
the
to
state.
the
I
Capitol.
went to the federal.
Oh,
not-
really?
Yeah, I haven't been to
You need
the
to make
state.
that trip.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile trip. I mean, could they squeeze another 30 in there by changing the desk and everything? I think they could, no
Probably.
problem.
It's
But
gonna
then
be
they wouldn't
tight.
have offices.
Right.
And that would be a different deal. They'd have to build on.
Yeah.
So they said, money wise, it wouldn't cost a lot. They pay these guys $24,000 a year.
Yeah, which is pennies
Yeah.
for what they do.
Right.
If they're doing what they should be doing.
Right. No, I concur.
Yeah.
But that's not the end of it. They have staff. I mean, there's
Right.
secretaries, there's offices, there's other things. And I don't know what each one's going to cost per head if you total all that up, but
Right.
it's going to be over $100,000 per head. So, you're talking another
Arizona's-
300,000
Arizona's
plus
good
you'd have to have a building.
Yeah.
Now, if you start building downtown there,
Yeah.
nothing starts less than $1 million. It's not.
We could move the capital here and make a deal.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't even think about it. But there used to be 80 state representatives back in 66. Now it moved down to 60. It's time to move it up back to 90.
Uh-huh.
I think he's right. He might be right.
Well, it's a question that needs to that's worth considering.
Well-
The federal government, the number of representatives were determined by the population. They could only you could only every time they got to a certain number, there was another representative. But then they realized we're going to have way too many representatives.
Yeah, we don't need that many people.
So they locked the number of representatives, and now the number of people they represent is continuously increasing.
Yeah, there's 435 now instead
Yeah.
of.
So, at some point, you got, if you're in a growing area, you've got to cap.
And at some point, maybe that needs to be looked at again, expanded.
I don't think it needs to be capped now. I think we can easily handle 90
Yeah.
representatives.
Well, yeah, we
I
used to
think
have
that'd be
80
good. Yeah.
in this, be
They
before
would
the
have been
60s.
80 back then would have been representing like.
Well, he's
5
talking,
people.
it's going to be a vote. They're going to put it in a voter referendum.
I think that's
I
a
think
good
that
idea.
could pass.
I could go with that. I like that idea.
I like the idea too of that you'd be closer to your representative.
Well, and the way it is right now, you might get a Democrat and a Republican representing the same district.
Now it'd be just one.
But now you're going to have one that speaks for you. I'm
Yeah.
getting behind the idea. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Even if they just split it in two and had, the two that are right now in one big district splitting into two small districts, and you get one from each of them, I could go with that. Even without increasing.
Well, that would
the number.
decrease them. No, we want to get closer
No,
to them.
it'd still be the 60. You got two from this
I
district.
know,
You
it's a-
split the district, got one.
I
each,
think
so
I
the
said we
number
should
would
go ahead and go
change.
3. I think I agree.
I like the 3. I could go either way. I like.
And we can
splitting it
invite
up.
them over for dinner, and they can't say they're busy. Look, I know you. You're right next door.
You're right, yeah. Because right now we got Cupper coming from Surprise.
Yeah.
Let's make them more local. I like it.
And we've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
Because we've been gerrymandered to be connected.
Well, you might have been. I'm not. I'm not part of that district.
You're not part of Nick?
Well, no, the gerrymandered one. Yeah, are you talking about?
Oh, all of them are gerrymandered
yeah.
somewhat because they all connect to Maricopa
Yeah.
for some reason. Well, you split those into third and they're not going to be. I
Right.
mean, you're not going to have like these different districts that just are 80 feet wide and miles long.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
to
yeah,
go to Maricopa. That's
this
ridiculous.
last one going from Tucson all the way over here.
It's just terrible.
It's insane.
I don't like it.
No, I thought that's where you were talking about because I'm not in that district, but I am in.
No, I'm in the
in
one with Michelle Pena, where it goes to Tucson.
She's awesome. I like
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
That would break all that up
Yep.
to where Michelle Pena has to put up signs and over there and all that stuff. It's just you're not close to that.
No.
So this would really do it. And he's not talking about changing the Senate. The Senate's 30. That's fine.
All right.
Leave it alone. The Senate's a different animal.
Yeah.
And it would be fine.
Well, and it should be, that's the whole point behind the Senate and the representatives in at the federal level. You've got one representing an area, and you got one representing the people.
Yeah.
And I like that idea. I think it's a great model. That's why it's been working for 250 years. There's no reason not to duplicate it here.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's my idea now.
I'm going to promote it that way.
Yeah, I promoted it. I come up with this good idea, and I had Metzger write it up for me. Unless it fails,
I'll back you up.
you back me up on that.
Yeah.
I knew I could count on you.
Yeah, as long as I get to say,
You were in on
I
the-
advised him.
You were on the
Yeah.
planning
Yeah.
stages.
We worked on it together.
Absolutely. Let me see. And I had tons of stuff to talk
You
about.
always
today.
have tons of stuff to talk about. You never get to it all.
Oh, State Department is going to change here a little bit.
Uh-huh.
They're going to ask more states or countries, more countries that are applying for visas to come into the United States to put up deposits, bonds.
Interesting.
You got to put a bond up. So you want to come to the country, you got to put up a bond. It's up to like $15,000.
Huh.
So say you're coming here on a business trip, you can put up a bond.
Right.
And they added 12 nations to the list, and it's getting long. I'm not going to read them all. Some of them I can't pronounce, and that hides that fact if I don't do any of them. Starting April 2nd, passport holders from the countries must pay a bond of $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, which is refunded if the visa application is denied.
Okay.
If granted, the traveler complies with the terms of B1 or B2 visas.
Right.
Or you lose the bond.
Okay.
And we have this problem with people staying over.
Right.
In fact, that's somebody being deported right now in New York that's on the New York City Council.
All right. Yeah, I heard about that.
And they're all up in airs. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Well, he's here
Well,
illegally.
the same thing happened with that principal a few months ago. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's a great principal. He's a great
So
guy."
yeah, and then they found out he wasn't.
Right.
And they didn't even have a degree.
Right.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He lied on his application. That the
Oh.
one here, he didn't have a degree either. Yeah, he was a big con.
Yeah.
But apparently they liked him as a principal.
Yeah.
But that doesn't undo the fact that you broke the law and you need to go.
I'm not sure that those numbers are high enough. I think they should be higher bonds because if you're here on business, you're probably making enough money. You're like, yeah, I can lose.
Not all of
5,000,
them are
I
here
don't
on
care."
business. Some are students and other stuff too.
Well, the students, that's another.
Well, they're gonna-
If they're here on business, though, I have no problem putting a big.
Well, and they'll adjust accordingly. And the reason is that these countries are not, they don't cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
The bond depends on the circumstances.
Right.
And it's determined in the
should.
discretion of the counselor during the visa visit.
Okay.
The requirement was first rolled out by the Trump administration last year as part of an effort to crack down on visa overstays and illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Citizens from 50 countries will be subject to the bond. 50. There's just these 12 new ones, and they added 50 beginning. Although the policy has already been in effect for most of them, the majority of the countries are in Africa, which officials have the higher visa overstay rates.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Though they do include Asia and Latin America and elsewhere, but the visa bond program has already proven effective at drastically reducing the number of visa recipients who overstay their visa and illegally remain in the United States. Now, it does say that nearly 97%, roughly 1,000 individual posted bonds complied with the visa terms and did not overstay.
Good.
Well,
And
good.
the more I think about it, even the students that are coming over here on a visa,
Mhm.
they're not poor.
No,
So I'm okay with even them getting, having to deal with the.
But it's common
because they
to-
get the money back
it's-
if they obey the law and they go home when they're supposed to. They get the money back. I'm okay with
yeah, it's refunded if they
Yeah.
if they go back on time and everything. They give them the money back.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
And we keep hearing of times people in the country are illegal because they overstayed a visa, and it's usually the bad players.
Well,
That's how we hear about
usually.
it.
I don't. Yeah, that's how we hear
That's
about
how
it.
we hear
yeah.
about them.
But I'm sure the majority of them are just like, I like it here.
Huh.
I'm going to stay here. And then they get found out. But yeah, we find out about the ones that cause crimes.
Well, here's that employee in New York City. I
Okay.
guess he's not on the council. He works for the council, but
Okay.
he's an employee. And an immigration judge ordered the deportation of former New York City Council employee, federal officials said in January. Undocumented immigrant with a prior assault arrest. Yeah. Let's see, Julie Minnan, City Council Speaker, announced that the deportation ruling on Wednesday, condemning it as a miscarriage of justice and wholly deplorable, pledged to fight back by filing an appeal.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to stand up for the criminals. Raphael, 53 years old, was detained 2 months ago during an immigration appointment. He made an appointment. He was identified at the Department of Homeland Security as a Venezuelan criminal illegal alien who overstayed his visa.
So what was he hoping to accomplish by
don't know.
making that appointment?
I don't know. He said it was an appointment. I don't know if he made it or it was made for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. Federal officials said despite having no work authorization, he was employed by the New York City Council as a data analyst for roughly 1 year. And he had no work authorization. He didn't have a visa or anything. Local officials, though, are going crazy. They're strongly disputed the claims. How can you dispute the claims? I mean, they got copies. I imagine they got
Right.
they got a paperwork trail.
We're not making it up. It's written down.
He said that he had legal authorization to remain in the U.S., including the right to work.
that
And,
would be written down.
and they said today, Judge Conroy ordered the removal. Our city council employee from the United States. We are outraged and we will continue to pursue every legal avenue to ensure his release and ensure his case properly heard at appeal. This is an affront to justice. That's Mandani, the mayor.
And it's insulting to the judge. They say we're going to have it properly heard. So that judge is like, oh, so
Well, it's an improper
it
judge,
wasn't
obviously.
properly heard.
Yeah, he was an improper judge. Mandani says
Which judge is going to do it properly?
Said he's a dedicated public servant with legal authorization to remain in the country. He showed up for routine immigration appointment, and despite following the rules, he was detained and now being held for months. Well, he didn't follow the rules, or he wouldn't have had the appointment. Probably he wouldn't have had the problem.
Yeah, it's all written down on a piece of paper. If he had authorization to be here, it's written down somewhere. All you got to do is show us the piece of paper.
He entered the United States on a B2 tourist visa.
A tourist, not even a work visa.
In 2017, which required him to depart the same year. He had to go. And according to DHS, now the city says no. He's been cleared to remain in the country until 26 October. Who cleared that? Was it the State Department? Was it New York?
Yeah. Where's the piece of paper?
I don't know. They think it's a technical error related to his asylum application. That's why he had that. That's probably why he was there. He's probably looking for asylum. I don't know.
From 2017?
Well, just recently.
No,
I mean, just recently, like he went in for an appointment.
Uh-huh.
He said he had an asylum application. The staffer, so he knew he was in the country
illegally. Yeah.
The staffer reportedly had a missing signature on his papers, was denied the opportunity to rectify it. This, according to the, New York City. They said the paperwork would only take 1 hour, according to New York City. Today's ruling appears to hinge on a procedural issue related to his asylum application. This is extremely troubling. A technical error should not determine the fate of a man who has done everything right and poses no risk to anyone. Well, she keeps saying everything's right. The judge is saying you overstayed the visa.
Right.
One of them's wrong. I'd put my
Well,
money
and
on
she
the
said
judge being right
he poses no threat to anyone, but didn't he have an assault?
in
Was
Venezuela.
it a convict? Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
he's a threat to people in Venezuela, then, not people in the
Well,
United States.
I think it was in Venezuela,
I
maybe
don't
not. But local officials added that they will file an appeal.
Okay, fine, do that.
And she said, "Let me be clear." I like it because like they're speaking at the city level, telling the federal government.
Right.
Let me be clear. Raphael should not continue to be detained while this is sorted out
And why are they filing the appeal? Shouldn't he be filing the?
because they hate ICE.
Yeah.
They hate federal government. They hate
I wonder what he thinks of the whole thing.
who?
The dude in question.
Oh, I don't know. He probably wants to stay here. He probably wants to stay here.
I don't know if he wants all the attention though.
He says an appeal will be filed. We will demand that Raphael's case be appealed, be properly heard by a deadline on April 17th. At a minimum, he should be released pending that appeal. There is no justification for continuing to hold him under their circumstances. I'm certainly no expert on any of this, but I think they've got a protocol they're following.
Right.
I'm assuming, and if it's wrong, then yeah, appeal it and tell them. But
Right.
I somehow think at the end of the day, these New York City leaders are kind of biased, and they want to do their own thing, and they don't want federal government.
Yeah. And as far as justification for holding him before the appeal, he's already proven that he will not be in the place that he's supposed to be because he's not supposed to be in this place. He should be in another place. So maybe keeping him in a place against his will is the appropriate thing to do.
The city say no, it's just a mistake. He's allowed to be here through 27. It's just a mistake.
Oh yeah. Well, and okay, fine. Then show us the piece of paper. It's
right.
It's going to be written down.
I would think that'd be accessible by the judge. I think the judge would have that in front of him. I would think.
Yeah. Well, and they're saying, oh, he just forgot to sign it or something like that.
Or it was
okay.
It was signed on. Yeah, one of the lines wasn't signed. I don't know.
But then it wasn't done. It's
not
right.
I don't know what the paperwork is. Joe Kent just recently quit his job. He was the former national counterterrorism.
Yeah, I heard about that guy.
He said that he doesn't agree with Trump going into the war in Iran. They pose no threat at all.
Well, he said no imminent threat.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough one way or the other. So.
Oh, I'm not sure we know everything they know, but they've been at war with us for 47 years.
Right.
He resigned on Tuesday, but now there's a probe that we find out about that predates his resignation.
Okay.
They've been looking at him as somebody that has been leaking classified material.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't know how connected that is. Maybe it's just coincidence, but it may not be.
All right.
A senior administrator said that Kent was a known leaker who had been cut out of the intelligence briefings months before his resignation.
Why wasn't he fired months before his resignation?
Don't know. But he was the National Counterterrorism Center director, and he wasn't getting intelligence briefings.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, why wasn't he fired?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to give him briefings, why is he, wasting the space?
Right. And collecting the money.
So after months of not getting the briefings, he resigned and said it was over the Iran war. And maybe it is.
Maybe.
But I'm a little skeptical now. But he's a former Green Beret, a CIA paramilitary officer, and was appointed to lead the National Counterterrorism Center in early 2025. He's a Gold Star spouse, and he doesn't like going into Iran. Probably not a Trump fan at this point,
right.
Even though Trump had pointed him.
Which makes you wonder if the leaking they're referring to over the last few months is in response to Trump being president. Did he start?
I don't know. Trump appointed him, I thought.
That's interesting.
Maybe not. Maybe he's already there.
And why we're in Iran is, whether or not you agree with it or not, at this point is irrelevant. We're in Iran. We got to finish the job we started, and
we are.
And we need to finish it the right way. But there's no power vacuum that's going to be filled by some nastier dude than was in there to begin with.
Oh,
and leave it better than we found it. That's always the rule.
Rebecca texts me and says he's probably had the permit Biden administration was issuing. I guess he was like extending some visas or something, which I think Trump voided them or under Rubio or something.
I don't know.
It was kind of like on his way out thing that he just said, okay, everybody can stay an extra couple of years or something.
Well, that wasn't in the article, but maybe
It wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't, but I remember reading some of that.
But Biden has caused a lot of confusion that has not helped people. So I can.
But I don't think Biden caused it. Somebody in his office did. You're right. It's the Biden administration. I think Biden's confused on a permanent basis. That's just rude, but it's what I think. Well, I'm not going to get to everything else because we're out of time.
You actually can continue going. It's your call.
I'm not. No, well, I'm doing it to make sure that we keep the radio station
6 to 9 standard.
Exactly right. Exactly what it is.
Well, and you're in somebody else's house here. You don't want to oversee.
Oh, I don't care. He doesn't care. He never comes back here anyway. I mean, this office is way off to the side. It's not going to bother him. He would care less. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to take off. So thanks for coming in, Chris.
Hey,
I appreciate it. We covered not even half of what I wanted to, but
some good stuff though.
Even the ones I screwed up with Edward. That's all right. We'll be back tomorrow.